Warning, the following podcast is rated 80s and will not be suitable for everybody. It will contain the internet, hacking, activism, hacktivism, Reddit, Wikipedia, technical terminology, and suicide. Listener discretion is advised. And now, Rated 80s presents Comics on Film.
There's a profound sense of loss tonight in Highland Park, Aaron Swartz' hometown, as loved ones say goodbye to one of the internet's brightest lights.
Open access and computer activists are mourning his loss.
An astonishing intellect. You talk to people who knew him.
He was killed by the government, and MIT betrayed all of its basic principles.
They wanted to make an example of us.
All right, coming at you almost live from the hilltop of the gritty city, from beneath the dull, pale red light of the Shackleford diffuser, presented glorious 2.53 Mookie Vision. It's Rated 80s presents Comics on Film, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Mr. Jeremy Whitman, with my co-host, the 8-bit console's own boy, Rusty Shackleford.
I like that. I'm all right with that one.
Yeah. Our this episode is The Beastmaster.
What?
Nope. We're saving that little slice of rated 80s Americana for later in our dive into film. We're changing up the gears a little bit. We are doing a movie that probably none of you have ever heard of.
But should have.
But should have, about an American hero, I would say, who is dead now and invented Reddit, which is the reason you get memes on your Facebook, whether or not that's a thing you enjoy.
Yeah.
And then they co-opted the term meme from Richard Dawkins, a evolutionary biologist, who invented it as like a meme is when you teach someone something and they teach it to someone else a little bit differently, like a genetic growth of or an evolutionary growth of like making a paper airplane. That's what a meme was supposed to be. Now it's a picture of a kid that burned his cup of noodles in the thing, and we're all ashamed of him. And it has some words. Or a thing about Flight of the Navigator. So memes have transferred from being, a thing that helps us all explain how traditions and human activities move through society to the white noise of the internet.
Isn't that, that's kind of, it's the telephone game, right?
Mm-hmm. Kind of, yeah, but with skill sets, things of that nature.
Well, yeah, no, I get it. I'm just saying now it's a telephone game where it's all fucking screwed up and weird at the end now, the way we use them now. Because I actually didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that's what a meme was for.
Memes have memed off to meming something else now. Yeah. So I guess maybe Richard Dawkins is happy with that. Who knows? Who knows how he thinks? He's British. We assume... We assume what he says is right because it's coming out of a British face hole with its British inflections and such.
I'm sure I could beat him at Mario or something.
Yeah, probably. He's an evolutionary biologist. He's probably not grabbing 5,000 points off that flag.
Were you surprised when you found out that Neil deGrasse Tyson was a fucking wrestler?
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't...
Like college fucking wrestler.
Really? Oh,
yeah, he's a badass.
I know some people who've met Richard Dawkins. Him and Tyson hang out a lot when they can. And
why wouldn't you?
Dawkins is from a different background than wrestling.
My drink's driving you nuts, isn't it?
It's driving everyone nuts.
No,
especially those of you who listen to this on headphones. And Dawkins was giving a speech at UW about, I think, probably religion or something like that, and why we don't need it. And so some of my friends were ushering him around UW because I have friends that are basically, they're like atheist and agnostic rebels. Right, they're the operatives in the front lines of the war against having religion.
You mean sane people?
Yeah. Okay. Not to insult a good 80% of our listener base by statistics, but so they were leading him around UW, kind of showing him the place, and he was fascinated by the idea of tennis courts at night. That was what I got from them. They're like, he just would not. He was like, why do we have tennis at night?
It's like a huge waste.
Yeah.
Right? Is that what he's?
It's just probably something that doesn't happen in England. I think in England, tennis is probably a game that's just impenetrable to human eyes, like cricket. Involves 40 people and a seeker and a snitch and all that sort of thing. But this episode, we were going to do the Beastmaster. That was going to be our thing, and we gave the Beastmaster a shot, and we decided, you know what, we need a little bit more mastery of the Beastmaster episode, I think, to do it justice to everyone's love of that movie. And so we put that one on the burner. And we go, what else should we do? oh, let's call up our buddy Luke Severod. He's reliable human being. He'll have some good insight. And he came up with, what's it called?
His
the
movie?
dinosaur movie.
Oh,
yeah.
Land Before Time.
Land Before Time, which nails it.
Yeah.
He nailed it. That's great. And I put it in and I watched it. I was like, this is great. I have so many things to say about this. And then he's not showing up.
Not yet. He's
got to put windshields into cars.
Yeah. He's a busy guy.
Don't tell Luke that we're being mean to him on the
We're-
podcast.
yeah.
But,
So-
I mean, this is going to drop the day before he's supposed to come and record that episode. So then I was like, that's perfect rated 80s fare. I got a lot of great things to say about that film.
Yep.
Can't do that one. And you're like, what else should we do? And I was like, should we do RoboCop 2 or Predator 2? I don't know. Then I started looking at the level of political debate going on in this country right now as to the Hillary email scandals coming out, and the Bernie people are going, oh, we're kind of lost. We're not going to make the presidency. And then it's just everybody is really kind of down on the far left, which is where I live most of my life, the far revolutionary left, right? I'm like, I'm even a little bit more left of Bernie because he's like, I want to have a revolution. I'm like, yeah, I'll make a guillotine in my backyard. Bring me some monarchs and let's lop some heads off.
Does that make you left?
Huh?
So I'm confused. I get confused about
He
the
wants
left-right thing.
bloodless revolution.
Yeah.
I want a little bit more old school. I think all good revolutions have guillotines
But you're
or
really
guns.
not much of a fighter. I don't mean to point that out.
No, but I can
Like-
cut a little piece of string that drops a giant razor blade through somebody's neck
That is true.
with my left arm at this point. I can't
give you
even
that.
use my...
But you
I'm-
got to get to that part in the revolution.
Like I said, I expect them to bring me the people.
Oh,
and
okay.
I'll...
So you want a dictatorship?
Huh?
Or you just want to be an executioner?
Right.
You can just do that. You can apply for that job. I'm pretty
I
sure
don't
they'll
want
let
these
you.
low-value targets. Like, bring me George Bush, Donald Rumsfeld, and what's his name that has an electric heart and no heartbeat now? Dick Cheney.
Oh, okay. He has an electric heart?
He has literally no heartbeat because they put something in him that moves his blood around without the bother of having a human heart involved.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right.
There's also, like, buttons on his chest.
That makes a lot of sense.
And when
actually.
he changes deals on people, he's like, I am altering the deal. Pray I do not alter it further. Yeah, he's like more robot than man now. So I wanted something kind of uplifting about politics.
And you went with it?
I do find...
okay, first
I can
of all,
barely make it through this movie without crying.
You can't find an uplifting movie about politics.
I
They
think this one
don't
gets
really
pretty
exist.
close.
Is it?
I think so. Because this guy... Okay, so... Let's talk about who this cat is. This is Aaron Swartz. He's this inspiration for that wonderful, wonderful movie Baby Geniuses because he was like super smart as a toddler. Grew up in I'm guessing he's Jewish because the name Swartz.
Yeah.
Or maybe his family is just huge Spaceballs fans.
It's not even that he was like, you think of your kid like, yeah, you went potty in the potty.
Mm-hmm.
You're so smart.
Everyone thinks their baby's smart. Most of you have just shoved the exact same dumb monkey out of your fucking labia, all right? This motherfucker.
Dude.
Super smart.
Showing the home videos of this kid at literally, he's like 2.5, 3 years old.
Reading.
And not like... reading little like eggs and ham, green eggs and ham. He's fucking reading books and like
straight up.
Apparently, the part that got me was he goes up to his mom and he's like, "Hey, the Family Fun Center at this downtown," and she's like, "What?" And he's like 2.5.
He puzzled it out.
Yeah, and he figured it out. Like you can't look at the English language and just figure it out.
Just Aaron's just this guy and Abraham Lincoln apparently. Although I've never believed that about Abraham Lincoln when they're like he taught himself to read in a log cabin. They used to tell us that in school.
Well, somebody's bound to have told him.
Give him the rough outline.
And
or
how old
something.
was he? He fucking wasn't 3.
25 actually by the time he nailed it.
Which is probably genius back then. So
I don't know how old Abraham Lincoln was when he probably didn't teach himself to read. That seems like an urban myth to me. There's video evidence though of this child reading at like a good 6th or 7th grade level as a 2.5-year-old.
Yeah.
And so they had this gifted kid, and they probably did him the honor of not telling him he's gifted, which I think is very important.
Yeah.
Because every swinger I know was in the gifted program. And just wrecking marriages all over the country.
Do you know?
Like 20-ish, I would say like 20. Yeah.
I'm right about that, actually.
Yeah.
We probably know some of the same swingers.
I used to know more swingers than I think the general public knew just because of comedy. and you end up running into swingers.
And all the swingers
when I
places.
first started meeting swingers, it was the dark ages of swingers in the like early 2000s. And it's oh, it's so nice when an orc can meet a Morlock and they can get together and try and hunt down a threesome on the streets of Tacoma. But now swinging's gone so mainstream.
Is it? How many times do you think after a show have you been approached by a couple?
Well, we went through the hot tub story.
Yeah.
So that's
but
one.
I'm saying like a number.
Approached by a couple, less than 10, but been in a situation where that was happening on some level, right? Like, okay, maybe I'm on the other end of that equation and sending the girl out to hunt down some meat. That's happened more and more recently, and we've talked about previously, I think, how I feel like this new decade is kind of a PG-13 version of the 60s without all the herpes. Right? Because, like, everyone is
I don't think we have talked
half
about
of
this.
a hippie. Yeah. I feel like this new millennium is like Disney redoes the 60s. Because everyone wants their safe spaces, but they also want their body art, drugs, and sex with multiple partners. But they don't really want to throw down on a lot of other things. So
the
swinging
question is
has
a lot?
just gotten
I'm confused.
more...
You didn't answer.
What? Oh, I think
like 10? 10-ish?
How many questions? Yeah, around 10 or 12 times. Like, yeah.
I used to get it a lot, not so much anymore. I don't know
you
why.
look more safe in terms of, like, asking that question and not having the person just run away. You have more of a visual, like, that guy probably would get down.
Not so... Well, yeah.
Yeah. Like, he's not going to pull out a Bible pamphlet or something, which is the response I would get in my early comedy career.
I've never been in a three-way that involved a guy, though. I don't get the... Yeah, I don't know. Not that I'm distinctly opposed to it. I don't really care. It's just never come up, which is odd, I guess. I mean, I've been in orgies.
More of
I guess that's got to count, right?
We're getting way off our political leanings here, but that's like more. It's more of a specialty fuck than two chicks and a guy. It's been so popularized by the world of porn and so and such, and you know.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know. I know a lot of guys wouldn't even go in for that. 2 guys and a girl. Like, I know several people who'd just be, like, terrified of it.
A lot of girls would be terrified by it?
No, guys.
Oh, guys.
Dudes,
yeah. No, I understand. It's not like I would want to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. She'd have to be pretty hot.
Yeah.
And no ball touching.
No ball-to-ball action?
No.
Like, so, okay, 1 top, 1 bottom, not... No 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink.
Ends.
Yeah. Finger cuffs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not going DP. Not down to the no.
I don't think so. Because at some point, a hairy leg would touch me, and I'm pretty sure I'd go limp.
Oh, yeah.
Or close to. Or she would have to be real. I would probably have to be on bottom, and her tits would have to be in my face.
What now?
To afford. The amount of boner I have. Because so if it's I would have to. First of all, I'd have to be on bottom anyways, because nobody really wants me on top.
Okay.
So, and then if I was, I don't know. I'm trying to think because I don't think I would stay hard.
Yeah. If
a hairy leg was rubbing up against you while you're having sex,
you might surprise yourself. Go track down a couple and find out.
I'm not really willing to.
What's your homework for this week?
Is it?
On the podcast? Yeah, like we're going to have a new rusty man on the street.
We started Project Sex Mayhem. But this...
you got to destroy a corporate piece of art and be involved in a threesome with a girl and another dude. And then you have to start a fight.
Well, I got 2 of those. You decide which one. Which 2? All right.
So, prodigy child, East Coast somewhere. Mr.
Brilliant.
Aaron Swartz, very smart. Smart to the point where he is learning computer programming at a very young age.
Yeah.
Apropos of nothing, Wikipedia does not exist at this point. He invents Wikipedia in his house, at home.
Called Info, what was it?
I don't remember exactly what it was called, but it was essentially the exact same idea as Wikipedia.
Yeah.
So, and often in history, you'll have 2 people coming up with the same thing at the same time. You know, Tesla, Edison fighting for that light bulb and all that electricity stuff. And about the same time calculus was made by Newton, there was another guy that was almost there also, and he didn't have as good a PR team. This kid's 11 or 12 years old and had this idea, made it, took it to school, and his teacher said what all fucking lame-ass people said about Wikipedia when Wikipedia was starting to get popular. You can't just let randos edit things and then other people read them.
You can't. And the thing they say in the movie, which I really dug, was everyone bases all of our books and all our information on it's these scholarly people that put it out. It can't be everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what his teacher said. Like, no, we have these people for a reason. You can't just let random people do it.
Yeah.
I think he still won like a science fair. And then, done with that, he moves on to being heavily involved in the invention of RSS, which they probably explained a little bit in the movie. And you've probably heard the term, audience at home or in your car, wherever you're at, RSS, which is really simple syndication, which was very popular for a long time.
It stands for really
simple syndication. Was a very popular technology for a long time, where you can go to all your different websites and pick the RSS feed.
Yeah.
So you go to New York Times, Politics, take that RSS feed and pump it into your RSS feed reader, which would also give you wherever else you went and grabbed stuff. It'd give you a list of all the articles. It was the beginnings of internet addiction.
Why don't they do that anymore?
You still have RSS readers. Google scrapped theirs a while ago. It was very hard to convince people of the viability of this technology. But this technology is sitting in everyone's WordPress page. They have probably an RSS feed set up, or you can set it up. And it is still to this day how we distribute podcasts. So this kid invented a piece of the technology used to give the people who don't listen to us on the Northwest Convergence Zone. He was involved. I didn't mean he invented it. He was involved in a panel of people who were like age, 20 to 55 years old, writing this spec.
It's one of my favorite parts of the flick.
And he's on the mailing list. And like that movie, Almost Famous, they're like, why don't you ever come hang out with us? And because he's...
And he goes,
a teenager. He was 13 years old.
I'm not sure my mom would let me come. And they're like, what? What? And he goes, so I'm only 14. And they're like, we've been working with this guy for a year.
He's been 13 years old the whole time.
The whole fucking time.
Holding his own intellectually and on a technical level with all these people.
Instantly they had to meet him, which you do.
Yeah.
Fucking A. Why not?
Has anyone got any kind of rules about kids? I know we're all computer programmers. There's probably one guy here who's not allowed around kids. You can't come to the next meetup.
Yeah.
And you, Jared from Subway, you also stay home.
I don't think he was invited anyway. But, he might have catered it.
Then. Yeah, so that's kind of just the start of the Aaron Swartz tale. And he did many other amazing things, and we're going to talk about that after these messages.
Growing up, I slowly had this process of realizing that all the things around me that people had told me were just the natural way things were, the way things always would be. They weren't natural at all. They were things that could be changed, and they were things that, more importantly, were wrong and should change. And once I realized that, there was really kind of no going back.
All right, and we're back.
Hey. Sorry, I just jumped in there for you.
All right. Presenting glorious 2.53
Mookie Vision.
Stereo Mookie Vision.
Oh, stereophonic.
I don't know.
Stereophonic?
Oh, I change it every time. Keep our audience on their toes.
Yeah.
Probably hope there's some nerd somewhere like graphing, and, like keeping records of all that, and then they're going to send us a letter. So this young man, obviously very, very smart, born into a situation where that sort of smartness could be cultivated.
Yeah.
If he's born into certain economic circumstances, you could be all that smart, wouldn't really help you a lot,
Yeah.
Not everyone has that teacher from Dangerous Minds waiting in the wings somewhere. And it wouldn't even have helped him because he was so smart that he was bored with school.
Yeah.
Like everyone thinks of their non-gifted asshole child who doesn't pay attention. They're like, oh, they're not challenging him. No, you're a shit parent most of the time. This Aaron Swartz guy, though, he was smart enough that he's like getting bored with school and, educating himself.
Yeah.
Doing amazing things.
Yeah.
After RSS was heavily involved with Creative Commons, which is another thing that you have access to as a citizen and you do not know a lot about probably because not a lot of people outside of the arts deal with copyright issues, but Creative Commons is a way to say legally that you're giving something away and that if someone else uses it, they have to continue if they adapt on it and add to it and stuff like that. There's Creative Commons, there's open source, there's all these different movements that force the evolution of technology and creative stuff by saying you must pay it forward. If you're going to use it, it's free. You can pay it forward
like Linux,
as well.
Right?
Yeah, Linux. And Linux is in everything. Linux is a computer operating system built on those principles, and it is in your car. It is in your microwave, more than likely. It's in your TV. It's in your phone. It's in almost anything that's not an Apple or Microsoft product that involves a computer chip is probably running Linux or a very strange Unix operating system that Linux basically copied. So it's almost transparent to being Linux.
That whole idea of open source stuff. I mean, I know shit about technology, honestly. I love my Xbox. I love my telephone, my smartphone.
I know. I had to put a microphone into a banana, and I told you it's a phone banana, and that's how we do the podcast.
Banana phone. But I don't know shit about that stuff, but there's something inherently, I guess, growing up kind of into punk rock, and I love no matter what, I think just listening to so much punk rock and Damn the Man, Fight Everything pushed me towards kind of leaning more left than I do right. I don't really go either way, honestly, but I lean more towards the left when it comes to people, and I think the idea of open source and this kid is just fucking punk rock as shit.
Well, these are all freedom concepts, right? So there's two different competing things. I don't want to get an angry email from an uber nerd, someone even more nerdy than me, to say that open source and free software are different things. But they're very close in the idea of free software being that you're not going to promote that it's cheaper for business.
Yeah.
But the open source and free software, there was a moment in the history of computers where everything was going to be owned by a corporation.
Yeah.
And still, a lot of what we use computers for, and your phone is a computer, even though you're calling it a phone, your tablet's a computer. You have computers all over your life now, and now they hold all your media. Unless you have a VHS collection, unless you're hunting down the DVDs, unless you're buying CDs still.
I still have...
all your media is held in a digital format, which means in a lot of cases that you don't own it, you are renting it.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, this was going to be for a long time, you wouldn't own the software on your computer, and in some cases you kind of don't. You own a license to that software that can be altered by them to use in the way, they say, oh, you know what? Perfect example, the Kindle books, right? They had a 1984. Kindle can reach into your Kindle through the wonders of their licensing agreement with you that you sign. I'm sure you read the 900-page document about the terms of service on your Kindle when you fired up your Kindle, and they have digital rights management software in those books. If Amazon decides that you don't need that book anymore, they can go into your Kindle and take the book out.
Yeah.
This happened one time with, guess what book?
1984?
1984. Yeah. For some reason, the gods of irony were like, let's do it like that.
Do you think it was just somebody behind a computer in Amazon going, hey?
No, I'm sure there's a very involved, technical, stupid reason why that happened. Amazon didn't even maybe have the rights for it or whatever.
But the astronomical odds of it being that fucking book, that feels like somebody's behind that. It could just be a conspiracy thing in my own head because I don't trust people, but that feels a little too on the nose.
It's a brave new world we're living in, Rusty.
All right.
But who knows?
Yeah.
But so, back in the day, when there's very few computers, and most of the people using them actually knew how to talk directly to them in C programming language or something else, really bare bones, close to the metal.
Yeah.
Unix was very locked down, and it was a proprietary thing, and it was owned. And since they stopped them doing certain things with Unix, the guys, Richard Stallman and his cronies, decided, we'll just rebuild it from the ground up, and we'll draft special legal documents. Instead of copyright, we're going to call it copyleft, but it's a piece of copyright law that protects the users and says, you bring this software into your system, it's your software, you can edit it, you can look at it, you can see what it does. Yeah, you can change it, you can pay it forward, you can charge money for it if you want, you can charge money to support it if you want.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the genesis of that, and then with that also came Creative Commons licensing, which this child
is the board
teens,
of.
He's on that
I love
thing.
How his mom, so they invite this kid to be part of this board for Collective Commons and
Creative Commons.
And his mom is like, they were just they're talking to him like an adult.
Yeah,
like he'd been begging for it.
He's their kid, right? Yeah. And he's going and having high-level intellectual conversations with the people who are inventing and drafting the internet, and he's affecting that.
And they have such great scenes in this flick about, and it shows him at the podium with all the guys making it, and this kid starts talking, and he just has He just commands authority with what he
40-year-old
fucking knows.
Human beings, listening to him.
Attentively.
I don't even listen to people in their 20s anymore. I'm like in my 30s. It's very rare that you find someone that far ahead. In comedy, a lot of times you'll find someone who's a very old soul.
Yeah.
Which is code for they were raped as a child repeatedly, or their parents died before you. But they've grown up in that aspect of things. But this kid's kind of the whole deal because he's articulate on that level.
Yeah.
He's also not a petulant child, and he's got not just an old soul, but an old programmer's brain as well, So he's technically proficient as well.
Like the fact that he taught himself coding, which I know a lot of hackers did.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people started fucking with coding, but most of them were like grown men. You know what I mean? In the 80s and stuff, kind of learning it and getting in there and learning how to write code. And then he just does it. He just teaches himself.
I think he's a good example of, as someone who's tried to learn coding for years, and I think I'm going to finally nail it this year. I've come to the conclusion that the reason coding is so hard to learn is because it's akin to taking a 4-year-old and showing them words without teaching them language. That's how bad we are at teaching people computer programming. So a child that can essentially teach themselves to read from a few basic rules is kind of pre-wired, I think, to do computer coding. Because you can force your brain to learn just about any skill just through a battle of attrition. But there are certain people. The Rain Man came to my high school once. Yeah, it's just a guy that the movie The Rain Man is based on.
Oh, The Rain Man. Okay.
Yeah, and
I
he
thought you said
has
The Brain Man.
Oh, we might as well call him the Brain Man. He's got an amazing brain. But he has got a brain that has way more connective tissue across the two hemispheres. He's got a mutant brain.
Yeah.
And he's not smart in a human being sort of way, but he can memorize a phone book overnight just by flipping through it. Yeah. Because something in there is wired in an incredibly different way than everybody else. And this kid's a good example of that. He's truly a gifted kid.
Yeah.
Not like he's, I'm taking AP history. He'd be like, fuck you with your AP history, all right? I'm going and looking at all the data from all the different history sources to see how history's been moved over time, because that's the sort of thing he did for kicks. It was like data collecting and data looking at it.
That's the part, like being able to be on this board and to help these guys create this website and everything. And in doing so, he ends up meeting the guy, and he's in high school. And he meets the guy who invented the World Wide Web. And this is the part, there's a few times in your life where you're like, something happens and it just alters fucking everything. And you can tell this was his moment for him, because he meets the guy, he talks to him, and then he finds out the guy just gave the intellectual property away.
Right.
He just, the guy invented the fucking web, could have got paid a butt ton of money for it, but it was like, nah, gave it to everybody. Just handed it.
Yep.
It's like, no, it's and he's in the documentary. His name's Tim something Lee, hyphenated name, whatever.
Well, this is one of the other reasons I wanted to talk about this, is because we are coming close to a type of a war against the machines.
Okay.
John
Connor.
Well, now there are times I'm like looking at my Roomba, I'm like, I can tell you're plotting on me, motherfucker. But I'm talking about...
Ooh, they got one that mops now, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you just put a machine gun on it, and you're just like one step away from wiping out. But I'm not worried about the Roombas coming at me because they're battery powered. Take the batteries out.
Battle to the death when you're not at home.
No, I think they get together in their groups and smoke cigars and talk about... That's also how I feel about cats. Like, they're talking about the overthrow of humanity.
They do look a lot like a lot of the machines on Robot Wars. Just putting that out there.
Yeah? Okay. I do think there is a coming war against the machines. It's not going to be as interesting as a Terminator thing, because what's happening very soon, very, very soon, is the machines are going to take all the jobs that a normal person can do without a college education. And then 10 years after that, they're going to drive every vehicle.
That's fine.
In the next 10 years.
That's fine.
They're going to drive that vehicle into another thing that is a thing that takes that vehicle apart, changes its oil, puts it back together, puts it back on the road to drive it somewhere.
Yeah.
They are going to turn McDonald's into giant vending machines with one lonely janitor thinking about killing himself in a room full of robots cooking hamburgers.
They already started... so they've actually...
The mass replacement. There's a huge existential
I'm
crisis.
I'm not saying you're wrong. You're like,
we're going to get to the point where there's a massive, first of all, everyone's going to be unemployed. and McDonald's and all that are going to be traded out for, like, hipsters will have the money to go to a restaurant where you get fed by people. They'll be like, it's so much better back in the day when people brought you food. But most of it, you're going to go, and it's like the Jetsons robot's going to bring you your hamburger, like in Back to the Future 2. But then, like, a year after that, since everyone got fired from all their shitty jobs, there's going to be no one to buy the hamburgers.
Yeah.
At which point we're going to decide we have to go in there and murder Google for their self-driving cars and their hamburger bots. But Google, and you don't even need an artificial intelligence, Google is just going to tripod mount miniguns with motion sensors to kill us all.
So it's going to end up being like Demolition Man in the have and the have-nots kind of thing. Is that what you're saying?
It's going to be like Fury Road eventually. I mean, if we don't...
We're all jumping to Mad Max.
That if we do not have a somewhat Aaron Swartz outlook on life and say that maybe the core rules of our society are so catawampus that we need to change them immediately before we get to this existential crisis. Like, what do you do when you've eliminated all the workforce with robots after the mass suicides, when people are like, everything I got from making Big Macs, they fucking blow their brains out.
But so what okay, because everyone freaked out about cars being made on an assembly line and computers are going to take that over, and yes, a shit ton of people got fired and completely destroyed Detroit. You're right. I'm just going to say you're right.
Well, here's the thing. Everyone always goes, oh, the automation, we'll legislate against it.
Yeah.
We've not even successfully legislated against ever. It's never happened.
Yeah.
There's a good video online that talks about, well, if you were a horse 150 years ago, you might have thought your future as a working animal was fairly secure.
Yeah.
And then some jackass invented the car.
Yeah,
and
totally.
as a horse, you got together at your horse club and went, oh, it's okay, only rich people get cars, so that eliminates 4 horses.
Yeah.
Now there's 3 horses left in America. Because we don't need them. So it's going to be interesting to me when we get to the point where, 1, we've replaced the entire workforce, then 2, that workforce goes home, spends a year playing golf, and then goes, wow, life is utterly meaningless, and blows their brains out. Yeah. So
probably have some pretty good golf players by the end of that. I'm just saying, like...
Yeah, but then someone will be like, I could get that game down to 18 strokes if I just made a really good golf robot, and then they'll put a robot on the golf course to replace your leisure activity.
Certain things, I'm sorry, until the robots take over, will not be replaced by robots. Art, sports. I mean, mind you, I would watch robot football.
They're in the process right now of designing computers that can program computers better than a human can program computers.
Yeah. Okay. That's programming. That's not comedy. That's not painting.
Oh, if you can do something as abstract as programming, you can write a dick joke. You're going to be like the old Conan O'Brien with the... It's JokeBot 2000 or whatever. There's already that robotic giggles, a Robo comic.
What's his name?
Robo, yeah. He comes out there, he does all those racist jokes, and people eat it up because they're like, he's a robot, he could be racist, it's okay. And it's a Chinese guy on the remote control anyway. So
the idea that humans will be replaced, I look, it'll be apocalyptic before it'll get to that crazy ethos.
Here's the only reason we exist is because a long line of things went out of their way to make their own replacement.
Yeah.
That's what your parents did when they boned. They thought they were just having a good time, and then you shot out of their body, and your job is literally to replace your parents. Well, now we're actually...
How is that?
Huh?
I mean, chromosomally, yeah.
Yeah,
you're
another mutation of the combined remix of your parents' DNA.
Wait. Was that your attempt at a scratch?
Yeah.
A little hip-hop scratch
little
there?
beatboxing, yeah.
You gangster motherfucker.
Let's continue thinking about your parents doing it.
No.
And that's probably one of the noises they made.
Wiki.
And that one, too.
Probably.
Yeah.
That was the bad.
Wiki.
I don't know. WikiLeaks.
I'm saying, as a species, we are in the process of building our own replacement.
Okay, this is completely an absolute. While I love technology, this is an absolute pessimistic way of thinking.
Oh, you say that now?
It is, but it's not a anywhere near a trust in humanity. Which I don't get that from you anyway.
It's not that I don't trust humanity, which I don't. But that's not. It's like when people are like, "You don't like Hillary Clinton because you're sexist." Hang on, my sexism has nothing to do with me not liking Hillary Clinton. I think Hillary Clinton couldn't open a jar as well as I could. That's me being sexist. As a person, I think she's a dishonest person. That has nothing to do with my sexism. Don't you conflex or don't don't mix them up, you know?
While I love technology, I don't think it's going to be... My job in particular is pretty safe, I think, for my entire life. After my life, it might be a little fucked. Like being a comic and being a tradesman.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be hard.
Building a house with a robot, first of all, that's
like 100 years down the line.
Yeah.
It's going to be no one to buy those houses, though, because there's no more pizza delivery jobs.
Yeah.
So...
But I can't wrap my head around being that.
Well, what I'm saying is there are a series of problems coming up in the future of the human race that are going to take some hardcore thought to get past them. One of them is going to be that technology is moving at an exponential rate. Yeah. Every 10 years, we get even faster than we were 5 years ago, and then and it cuts in half.
Was it in 1980? The information was, or 1960, information was doubling every 25 years, right? So, meaning the amount of information we had.
And this was all based on just grandparents held all the information. Yeah. We hadn't really made any mass storage devices besides like encyclopedias.
But if you think back in like Christopher Columbus days, it was like every 100 years, 150
like rumors,
years.
Yeah,
it was insane. So all the amount of information we knew, like if you just tossed it in like back then a Commodore 64,
I think it started really with the printing press. Things really started kicking up, but it's never going to slow down.
But now look, in 2002 they did a re-upping of that entire study, and they were like,
there was
every
literally
year.
8 gigabytes of data at that point in 1992.
No, I said 2002. Didn't
okay, well,
yeah,
same.
But the fact, I mean, now we're probably getting to the point where we learn so much in a day that it's probably doubling every week or so.
Mm-hmm.
Like
there's
non-stop
species,
info.
Just the amount of pictures that have been taken.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were just to go by that, right? I mean, taking a picture used to be like a 7-month process.
Yeah.
You had to work for 3 months to be able to afford a camera, and then you had to read on the camera for like 2 weeks to figure out what an f-stop and an aperture and all that was. And you go and you'd set up a picture, and you take the picture, and then you had to drive the film across town to the creepy guy in the little booth who would develop the pictures and give them back to you. And then it sucked because you'd never used a camera before. You have to start that whole process over again. And so up until 1998, there was only what we have in yearbooks and newspapers. That was what all the pictures in the entire and like the shit that people sent for their Christmas cards. And then after the cell phone was invented, like a week later with the cell phone with the camera,
there were already more pictures.
Probably
in
doubled
the world.
that. Like,
in a heartbeat.
Within, just give it to one 14-year-old girl, and her entire data set is doubled overnight.
I think that at some point there'll be a stop. Whether it's going to be a revolution, and I think humans will uprise before the dawn of like.
Even Stephen Hawking recently warned us about the coming war against the machines, and he knows he's half fucking machine.
I believe it.
He's a robot, man. And the guy's like, was it Stephen Colbert? Like, well, why wouldn't it be awesome for me to fight a robot? Hawking goes, you'd fucking lose, motherfucker, because they're better than you.
Yeah.
They don't even need to be that much better than you as a robot.
And I don't think it'll get to that point. I'm going to be I'm cautiously optimistic.
Be a tectonic shift in the way we live our lives as soon as they automate the trucking industry and the cabs industry.
Yeah.
After that, things are going to change, and we're going to have to be forward-thinking. And we might have to do this thing called a basic income, which certain people in this country are going to fight against like nobody's business, even as poverty starts engulfing more and more of the country. And the places where we do have poverty in this country are the places where we've kicked their jobs either to the Mexico or the Philippines or a machine that can do it here locally with half the human workforce.
So you're saying just like giving everybody
I'm saying
money?
This movie is instructive because it gives us a look at someone who was willing to be very forward-thinking.
Yeah. He falls under one of those guys, and they make the point several times in the movie that he's a guy that's willing to give away the information, and that's honestly what he ends up getting arrested for. That's what he, it's all.
Well, the thing is,
it's the dude who talks about peace and love, and bang, he's assassinated. It's JFK or
the what we're dealing with is a perversion of copyright and intellectual property right laws. In this country. This is another thing. It's separate from the war against the machines thing that we were talking about earlier that may or may not connect. But a big deal in this country, especially now, information is the currency of the future, right? Yeah. It is. The problem is no longer does this information exist, it's can I get a hold of that information in an easy way?
Yeah.
The GPS app on your phone is a good example of that. Well, there's a lot of information that the public has funded or the public legally has a right to in this country that is very hard to get at for various reasons. That's what got him in trouble.
Yeah.
But he was also a proponent of a thing that I'm very much a proponent of, which is maybe Disney shouldn't own the entire fucking culture. I don't care how great these Marvel movies are. Copyright has been recrafted.
I'm not worried about the Marvel.
Recrafted from... Well, Star Wars would be in the public domain if Disney had not been in there fucking with copyright. It would already be in the public domain, and you would be allowed to go make your own Star Wars movie and make some money off of it. But Disney has, and other corporations have lobbied very hard to make it where these laws that were initially invented to encourage production of art and provide artists with a living, they were perverted so that somehow all that goes and becomes the property of a corporation. And that's something I think is very important to fight against, and that's why Aaron Swartz is one of my favorite people on the face of the earth. Because,
previously.
Well, yeah, he's no longer with it. Well, he's somewhere, well, not that deep down, probably, like 6 feet. But but one of my favorite Americans ever, because he saw we're coming to a collision point, right?
Yeah.
One, these laws don't work for the people who they're designed to work for. Now they're being used to give a lot more power and control. And like these corporations like Disney, money equals control, because money helps you lobby to get more laws passed that work for the Disney Corporation or the Sony Corporation.
That was
and
one of
fuck
the things
all
that
to Mark Twain. Someone's selling his shit, right?
He got into Stanford, and he went through all the information and collated everything and found out the exact link between
he was great at data
giving
mining
money to like,
scientists to say there was no global warming and coming to the conclusion that there's no global warming and part of your, let's say there's no global warming research fund. Yeah, that tends to happen.
Yeah, but it was,
he found links on things like that.
It was the fact that he was making a direct link between the people that contributed to campaign funds to
laws getting passed in their favor.
Like, and he just figured it out. He just looked at the information and didn't actually release it. That was the crazy thing. He didn't like write up a paper to go put it on like he just wanted to know
his findings. Yeah,
it was like.
So he's a big proponent of this. So there's several things that were very
SOPA. He had
very unique about this young man. Obviously, super smart guy. Super smart to the point where he's participating in things that almost unheard of someone his age is participating in.
Yeah,
like baby genius kind of guy. Rejected roundly the idea of a public school indoctrination at all. Like, he was so smart that he starts reading your Howard Zinn, People's History of the U.S. or whatever he's reading, like, oh, schools are made to make me work for my corporate masters. Fuck all that bullshit.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm out with that. Then he goes to Stanford, and he finds out he's just in a more refined mill, you know, for like, hey, you kids are super smart, get your MBA, go up there and work for the stock market or work for this and that, which has, it's not necessarily evil, but it's not what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And immediately his chain is pulled. Hey, you want to come work at this joint called Y Combinator, which is a, not like Silicon Valley, but like Silicon Valley back in the day with the startups. Like, let's put a bunch of...
Silicon Valley?
Yeah.
Right.
Let's put a bunch of kids in the room that are very smart and see what they come up with and maybe make some money off it. And he makes a thing that eventually gets incorporated into Reddit.
Yeah.
So his project wasn't working quite as much as he wanted it to. They're like, why don't you go join this Reddit team? He joins the Reddit team. Reddit takes off like gangbusters because it's a great implementation of the natural evolution of the internet at the time. I was on Reddit maybe 2 years after it really got going.
I've never been on.
Oh, yeah? Don't. It is internet.
No, I've heard.
It is
I've
internet
heard so
crack.
Much.
It is so bad. So he invents that and immediately becomes a millionaire before the age of 20.
Yeah.
We are told. Like, he's
it
got
was
so
20,
much
right?
money. His brother's like, I don't know to say that it was $1 million, but I feel like it was at least $1 million.
Yeah.
And then they get bought by Condé Nast, which is a corporation that owns Wired magazine. Is the thing that they own that most people are familiar with because that's in grocery stores, or it was back when magazines existed in grocery stores back before the war against the machines.
I like it's.
He quit. He got fired.
Yeah. He just decided to not show up anymore.
This was not him. Yeah, it just wasn't him. And
I mean,
we got to take a break here pretty soon. But
yeah.
it's so.
I fall in love with the because I wanted to be a psychologist and I like studying people and I like to know how people think. People like this are always interesting to me in the way that I just want to know how he came to those conclusions, how he ended up. Because you got to take a massive amount of either humility or just no worries. Because they're like, he got paid $1 million. He slept in a room the size of a box.
Yeah, he did that thing that everyone claims they would do, but no one would actually.
He actually
what if you won the lotto? Would you keep going to work? Yeah, for like an hour and a half. I'd go there, I'd shit on everyone's desk, dare them to sue me, and walk out the door. And most people would. But he just kept living his life, right?
Yeah. Like, there's a picture in the movie of him just sleeping in a cupboard in the apartment that he shared with a bunch of people that had a bigger library than bedrooms, right? But it was like a collective of guys. And he's just in there with a pillow just chilling. And he actually says in the show, he's like, well, I have all my jeans I need. I like my T-shirts that I got. I'm not going to buy a big house, so whatever. Yeah. Like, his money just stayed in his bank account.
Yeah.
I'm like, fucking.
He both is and is not the American dream. Because, like, he, was positioned well enough to do what he wanted with his life.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people, like, sometimes you get in a conversation with somebody and you're like, what if we found out the world was going to end in 16 hours?
Yeah.
And people give their response, right? As I've gotten older, my response has changed. But, the stereotypical response, and this would...
Fuck everything.
Yeah, that's never been my... What are you going to do if you're going to die in an hour and a half? Rape everything possible. Has never been my response ever to that. But it would be like, maybe overeat a little bit or something like that.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
I'm going to... But then as I get older, it's like...
Wait, how many hours? Do I have time to make ribs?
As I get older, though, it's been more of a... I would go spend time with my family, actually. If I found out there was 8 hours to go, I wouldn't go to a comedy club. I would not go to a bar. I'd go home, hang out,
mashed potatoes. Me and my daughter would sit down.
Yeah, we'd lock all the doors because the rape people will be out there running willy nilly. Like, you get the guns out, but we would just try and have a fire in that fireplace we never used because the chimney's blocked off.
The last 10 minutes.
Everyone take your cyanide pills.
The last 10 minutes, I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna jerk off.
Just publicly, or would you find a quiet corner?
I'd like hug.
Why bother? Why bother finding a quiet corner? Just do it.
Well, no, because I'd be spending the time at home alone with my daughter.
Huh?
I would go into the next room to jerk off as my final goodbye to humanity. Just saying.
Yeah.
If I knew the time.
Especially, too, it might be like a false alarm.
Yeah, you don't want to go too crazy.
It turns out that was just a test of the emergency broadcast system, and there's just a trail of bodies down this. Oh, man. What a horrible time for the radio to stop working in my car right after the beep, beep, beep. Like, fuck, it's on now, motherfuckers. All right, we'll be back.
All right.
The arrest took its toll on Swartz.
He just wouldn't talk about it. And he's, very stressed. If you thought, the FBI was, going to come to your doorstep any day, any time you went down the hall, even to do your laundry, and they would break into your apartment because you left the door unlocked, I'd be pretty stressed. And it was clear. And so Aaron was always sort of in a dour mood.
All right, welcome back to the story of Aaron Schwarzkopf, general of the First Gulf War. No, Aaron Swartz. I'm sorry. Yeah. All right. So, the corporate world did not end up being this man's friend. He decided, and specifically the startup culture in the Bay, I think it was in the Bay at the time, not for him. So Wired fired him. He made a great T-shirt that says "Fired" in the Wired logo.
Yeah,
threw
it was
on
so awesome.
Twitter or whatever, and gets on with his life and moves more towards activism at that point in his life for the things we've talked about, Creative Commons and freedom of information.
Yeah.
And at the time, and still to this day, there's this problem of case law being squirreled away behind paywalls, even though the public is supposed to be able to get a hold of it.
Yeah.
And the government was charging per page.
Yeah.
Because lawyers in the law profession is one of those professions where one of the barriers to entry is money, right? So you need to be able to do some legal research. You need to get all those case laws.
And these
you
are
need to get
free.
These pages.
These documents
are in the public domain.
They're public domain, yeah. But they have
they're
a lock
behind a paywall.
They have a lock on the public domain, basically. So you can't just go in and say, hey, I need Section 7, blah, 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 some code of some law.
Nope.
Can't have it.
Nope. You want to see what, hey, I think there's some case law pertaining to this case I'm dealing with, or I'm just a curious guy.
So when you're
right?
Legitimately, when you hire a lawyer to stand up for you in court and they have a paperwork fee, that's pretty much what this is under.
8 cents a page.
Yeah.
Legal documents are double spaced, and they take up many, many pages oftentimes, and they're dense and all that.
Yeah.
And they go, this isn't right. You guys have $150 million surplus. Even the law says you should only be charging the operating costs for your website to serve up this stuff.
So if it actually only took,
it's
$10 million
pennies to access a page, right? Yeah. So
but
it should be 1 to 1.
So the overall cost of the thing can't exceed. They're not supposed to make a profit on it.
No, they're not supposed to be turning a buck on it.
But it's $100 million industry.
$150 million just that's working for them that fashion.
Yeah.
So these cats go, it's not great. And they go, okay, we'll compromise with you. We're going to put 17 libraries across the country you can go download straight out of the case law, dig up anything you want. It's horribly archived and indexed because we have not been putting that $150 million to any kind of good use. It's just in poor form. But you can do it free. 17. So one for every 3 states or something.
Yeah, it's 17 libraries in the entire U.S.
United States of America.
Yeah.
And so someone comes up with a bright idea. They go, let's just get people in all these cities to take flash drives to the library, download as much as they can, and then we'll put it all on one as a joke. But then people are like, well, we really believe in this idea of the information because we pay for the court systems to come to these conclusions.
Yeah.
America. That's part of your tax dollars is funding the court system. And these are the laws that affect you as a human being. Ergo, we've decided they're in the public domain.
And the guy that decided to do it as a joke, it was funny because he's like, it's a little ha-ha, poke, fun. And then Aaron comes around and goes, oh.
Well, somebody threw him a piece of software they were working on, actually.
Yeah.
That could just go in there and snag it.
Yeah.
And this is where...
in the space of a time in like a luncheon that they were having,
he
was in the corner
and he's like
improving the little hack that the guy created.
And then calls in some other of the hacker people.
No, he calls a buddy who lives over by one of the libraries, sends him the hack, sends him in with a flash drive, plugs it into the computer, and just whips off like 200,000 pages.
It taxes their servers so incredibly hard. And I looked into the details of this hack a little bit because I was like, what? Because the FBI this is his first run-in with the FBI as a human being. And most people never have a run-in with the FBI ever in their lives, right? So he pulls like 2.5 million documents out of this service.
Yeah.
And I looked at it. He had bought some space on some cloud servers run by Amazon. And I'm not even convinced that anything ever touched a library computer. I think it was a legitimate hack. He's like, oh, this is how the system works. I could pretend to be that library computer. And this is where I think the movie that we're speaking of is playing a little bit fast and loose.
Yeah, I'm sure
I'm not absolutely sure on the technical aspects of this hack. It might have happened there and then gone to the cloud. But it looked to me at a glance earlier this afternoon like, oh, he puzzled it out.
Yeah.
Probably looked at how it's bringing the data in and says, oh, I could pretend that I'm a library computer, but I'm actually a piece of rented server equipment that Amazon owns.
Yeah.
And it just starts yanking stuff out of there at well beyond anything they ever thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
This perks some ears.
Which it should be a free.
Should be completely
while he
free.
Probably did it in a more militant fucking way. It should absolutely be free. They're public documents.
The guy speaking in his defense said the greatest thing I think ever, which is surprising a bureaucrat is not a felony. It's like, he found a way around the system, and it may have been quasi-legal or even illegal.
Yeah.
It might have been. I don't know. I haven't looked at it enough. I could maybe update in the show notes. I could look at it a little bit harder and say whether or not he actually, and he probably did break a terms of service in this one or the next one that we're going to talk about. But so what should not have happened and what did start happening is the federal government decided to start harassing him and his family.
Yeah.
Sending an FBI agent driving down the nice long driveway and then backing. So a man in black, right? Like straight up MIB Subaru or like, suburban federal car pulling up and down your driveway, just looking in, not saying anything. They tried to get him to come to a coffee shop without a lawyer. So they're going to intimidate. And this is a kid still, early 20s.
His brother's there and he goes, he remembers the FBI agents coming up to the and like looking in his window and then leaving,
which is illegal, by the way.
And he's like, I remember that, but I didn't realize that's what it was until all
5
the litigation.
years later, Freedom of Information Act pulled that out, and like, oh, they were harassing us. I was just fearing for my life, probably less than I should have been.
This is all PS, like pre-Soden.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like this is all like. And they haven't, like, they interview the guy, and he's basically shelling out this information, or basically, like, articulating a conspiracy about the government that basically ended up being true.
Oh, a real conspiracy,
Yeah. As soon as Snowden came out, all of this dude's ideas,
yeah,
no
and
shit.
We're not talking about walking up. Hi, we're from the FBI. Young man, tisk.
Yeah.
Talking about systematic harassment of human beings.
Yeah.
And when you go like, oh, somebody pulled down the driveway and looked in the window, you're like, maybe that doesn't sound too spooky to you? It should.
Yeah.
Because when the federal government decides they want to do you, unless you're John Gotti, well, hell, even in the case of John Gotti, eventually they got him, right?
Yeah.
But for someone with no experience with the legal system and stuff, they wouldn't come at you. They're coming at you pretty hard, and you know, this is a young man. His parents can't help him at this point or anything. So that goes down. He does a lot of stuff. He starts a lot of organizations. He's moving around kind of like a tech-savvy Abby Hoffman. But his hands are basically clean, right? He's a fellow at Harvard, I believe, which is attached to MIT.
Yeah.
And there's another big issue that he wants to deal with, which ends up resulting in his death. But this issue is... And again, the waters are going to get a little muddy here on the legality of this.
Yeah.
But the issue is that a lot of the research that happens at public universities and a lot of the research in general is based on grants.
Yeah.
Get on Craigslist right now, put in grant writer. You'll come up with thousands of offers. If you can write a grant thing, the government will give you money to inject fruit flies with like glow light chemicals and whatever. You know, all that research, a lot of non-private sector research is federally funded. When that research is funded, part of your job as a researcher is that you are getting hosed by corporations who take the copyright on that research, if I'm reading this correctly.
Yeah.
And your paper becomes property of these institutions that exist purely to sell copies of your research,
so basically,
which was funded with taxpayer dollars.
Yeah, you did the research, you wrote the paper. To get the paper distributed to all the intellectual people...
You need a peer-reviewed journal... And huge barrier to entry to read this thing. So, if I'm 85% of the way to curing AIDS, and I publish a paper on it, and there is another guy in another country who does not have access to the journal documentation company that has that paper, he never sees it.
Yeah.
Your tax dollars not at work, ladies and gentlemen. We're this close to fixing something, right? But the other person can never see it.
Yeah, he can't toss it onto the net or whatever. It has to be.
It's part of your contract.
You got to get raped to get noticed. That's basically what it comes down to.
Well, they're exploiting. This is why for two things. I'm so sorry for cutting you off, but this is why two things happen, right? Creative people get hosed all the time. Remember, Prince for years didn't release any music because his contract was so ironclad that he wouldn't make anything out of it. They get exploited by corporations because they know that creative people love doing what they do. Researchers are also creative people, scientist types, who give their whole lives to being grad students and doing horrible things like counting how many bees come back if you shake the bees too hard out of the nest or something, right? And that also, they just depend on that. They depend on your love of the game so much that they take your intellectual property and then put it behind a paywall.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a system that Mr. Aaron Swartz didn't like, and it ended up costing him his life.
Yeah, so he went after, I mean, he...
I think we're going to have to bait and switch these Northwest Convergence Zone listeners into the rest of this. There's so many toppling governments and murder and so many things. Actually, no
assault.
Murder. Yeah.
There's assault in there.
Violence. Hacking.
More hacking. Yeah. Some video cam. Some spy cam stuff.
Some ladies.
Not the hot spy cam stuff.
No. No, one of those surveillance camera footages, you're like, did you really even care about this crime? That's the level of surveillance you're using. Yeah, colleges.
So they go to set him up. I mean, they just... he gets busted down for something that shouldn't even have happened. It's
what we end up with, if you do come back for the rest of this episode, folks, is a young man perhaps overreaching. A young man trying to affect positive social change.
Ideological.
Yep.
Completely.
Mm-hmm. He's got some theories on how he thinks the world should work. He perhaps goes a little bit overboard, and it should have happened that he was told, hey, you went a little bit overboard.
Yeah.
Write an apology letter or something like that. But instead of that happening, what happens is basically the entire might of the federal government starts coming together to decide to throw as much of the book at this man
as possible,
as humanly possible, and bankrupts him in the process.
Yeah.
And while that's all happening, he kind of saves the world a little bit too.
Yeah.
That's in the background. You guys got to come back and listen to the rest of this. Come check us out, rated80s.com.
Yeah.
Rated80s.com. What's the episode going to be called? The Internet's Own Boy.
Yeah.
Check us out. Cool.
I don't think anybody really thought that SOPA could be beaten, including Aaron. I think it was worth trying, but it didn't seem winnable. And I remember maybe a few months later, I remember him just turning to me and being like, I think we might win this. And I was like, that would be amazing.
Calls to Congress continue. When the domain hosting site GoDaddy becomes a supporter of the bill, tens of thousands of users transferred their domain names in protest. Within a week, a humbled GoDaddy reverses their position on SOPA.
When the Congress people that supported the record and movie industries realized that there was this backlash, they kind of scaled the bill back a little bit.
You could see the curve happening. You could see that that our arguments were starting to resonate.
It was like Aaron had been striking a match and it was being blown out. Striking another one was being blown out. And finally he'd managed to catch enough kindling that the flame actually caught, and then it turned into this roaring blaze.
All right, and we're back.
Yes,
Jeremy
we
drinks and knows things. Too many things.
Oh, yeah.
So much so that it interrupts.
Oh, yeah. Interrupting Jeremy.
Publicly call you out.
We had to have a meeting. I was so sad that I actually had stopped the recording because Rusty talked for 8 minutes about how I interrupted him in the last one.
It's a thing.
Mm-hmm. That was the first piece of feedback we got, was maybe you shouldn't interrupt Rusty so much.
I got points now and again. They take longer to get there. Mm-hmm. Your brain works a bit
now
faster.
I save up. I only interrupt you once every 4 episodes, but I take an entire segment. I take an entire 15-minute segment, and I wait till you're really passionate about something, and then I go.
Because I was explaining, I was like, it kind of feels like you're teaching me something if I don't get to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm not entirely dumb.
I hope you learned something.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
So we're back to Aaron's plate.
Yeah, extra innings.
Poking the wrong people.
Yep. Wow,
he's not, okay.
Not even really poking the wrong people, perking the wrong eyebrows,
This is where it reminds me so much of Snowden, because Snowden was like, no, this is... he did the whole info drop as basically a taxation without representation. If you boiled it all down, they're using this money and they're not telling you what you're using it for. Pretty simple.
And you have been subject to an agreement you never agreed to.
Yeah, and and now this guy, Aaron, is basically doing the same thing. He's like, no, you call this shit public domain. You call it, this is intellectual property that should just be out there. And
what's going on here too is that so he's working next door, I believe, at Harvard as a Harvard fellow. That's my recollection of my earlier research, maybe 6 months ago when I watched this. Not today when I watched it.
Yeah.
And MIT and Harvard are very close, and part of that is that he gets an account with MIT, can use their network, and gets access to a company called JSTOR, which holds a good deal of these papers.
Yeah.
And so...
Which he first tries to do it like hacking, kind of. Not really hacking. He gets on there and he does it slowly, he makes a laptop called George Host.
Yeah,
is the name that he puts it under, and then the laptop's name is G Host. Ghost. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he starts filing stuff off this IP address that he has assigned to this computer, and it takes them a little while. He gets to 200,000 or something. Yeah. They notice it and they go, oh, wait.
They block you.
Block the IP address. And then he just goes around them again.
Changes it. Yep. Starts over.
Does it again. Blocked again. So eventually he just goes in the basement and plugs into the fucking mainframe.
This is one of the satellite closets in the so there's data closets all over a university, any institution. Now I am going to teach you something.
Oh yeah, because he knows that he wires.
Because I'm a data telecommunications technician.
Boom.
In the off season.
That is the title.
Yeah. So you have a 300-foot range on anything that's not glass. So 300 feet. Every 300 feet, there's a closet somewhere that holds what's called an IDF, an independent data facility, which then talks to the mainframe. So all over schools, all over office buildings and stuff, there are rooms that if you walk by, you will hear fans running inside those rooms.
Yeah.
And inside those rooms, there's a bunch of Cisco switches and every network connection for that area.
See, and in high school, I just thought it was where the janitor fucked the lunch lady.
It probably is, because this one was unlocked, which is not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
He found one of these.
Yeah.
And he's probably technically savvy enough to go, well, there's probably one in this vicinity here. Or maybe he's just walking by because the janitor there was using it to store the
Trash
recycling bottles
yeah.
between, like, I pulled it and I drop it there and then I go drop it in the big
get it
recycler
later.
somewhere.
Yeah.
So MIT had one of these deals open, and your physical connections, even to this day, are still going to be faster than your wireless connections.
Yeah.
And you're doing something where you're trying to steal gigabytes of data.
And he used was it just a
just an external hard drive?
External hard drive, yeah.
And
Sorry, I
a
couldn't
little
think of that name.
scripting. I'm sure it probably wasn't even all that sophisticated. They just said, go to their server. You're
Get
allowed
this.
to do it because it's part of, the open system here at MIT.
Yeah.
And in order, take everything off of that server.
And does that negates? So does that external hard drive? Would that have an IP address?
Nope.
Would they notice it?
Every computer is going to have an IP address.
Okay,
though. Your
it's
IP
not a
address
computer,
is
so-
your. Say you were plugged into the internet, you would have an IP address, but the hard drive would not.
Yeah. Okay.
So Neo gets an IP address. Morpheus gets one. Everybody gets one. But Neo's gun does not have an IP
but not
address.
Tank doesn't get one because he can't plug in.
Oh, yeah.
Just saying.
Yep. He still manages to die because of the Matrix, though, doesn't he? Yeah.
So what's one of my daughter's favorite movies?
The Matrix?
It blew her fucking mind. Just open, which it did to everybody when it came out. Everyone lost their shit.
A Game of Thrones Matrix theory. But it's probably too involved because, so...
What?
So Bran is essentially Neo, right?
Oh,
like he's
shit.
he's on the tree mix. Like he has to plug into the olden times Matrix, and still you want a physical connection to those tree roots. You gotta grab.
I did not even think
Spoiler
about
alert! That. Yeah, hope you're all caught up on Game of Thrones. Although I think what I just said you wouldn't have no idea what I'm talking about.
Not till it gets there, and then
so also I have a theory. Have you ever watched the Apple promo videos where
Ned Stark dies?
Johnny Ives, the bald Apple guy, explains to you how he designed something.
Yeah.
The latest one was when they came out with the bigger iPad and they redesigned a stylus for it. And this fucking, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but this bald
fucking tool,
this bald cunt Johnny Ives is in front of the fucking white background that doesn't actually look like anything because of the lighting, and he goes, "We rethought everything that went into a pencil." Yeah, I find that a bit pretentious, especially since you just ended up with a pencil. Like you didn't come out with something different at all.
It's not
but
wood,
a pencil.
and it doesn't have lead.
But I was thinking about it, and I think that that's the same place Neo gets all his gun shelves.
Oh.
Is where the Apple
Just
guy is
standing
like,
there?
oh, we need to shoot an Apple thing. Oh, Neo needs guns first, so we got to wait till Neo gets all his guns at the loading zone.
Neo's at
And that's
5:15,
also where-
and I'm at 5:30. We're gonna have to wait.
Yeah.
For the commercial.
Oh, and there's a fucking kid crippled here turning his friend into a retarded person later.
Lawnmower Man?
Hodor.
Oh. The Matrix. Yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this kid, he finds the mainframe or whatever.
He's full on adult by this point. He's in his 20s.
He's a kid to me.
Yeah, he finds a place to plug a PC in.
He died young. He's a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he plugs in this PC and an external hard drive, and he's ripping all this stuff off. And they find it, but instead of just like trying to find out who it was,
I completely understand this part of it where they kind of lay a trap for him because, hey, this is happening. Let's block the computer. That should stop happening. Especially guys working at MIT,
Yeah.
IT guys, probably just kind of waiting out the pension. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, MIT, IT, come at me, bro. I don't care, right? Like, you know what? A lot of people who work for publicly funded universities, kind of lazy. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. I worked at UW for a long time as a contractor, and their internal folks don't really do a lot, but boy, do they get paid well.
Yeah, I was like, does it make you mad that they got paid?
Oh, yeah,
So,
and they got
okay.
like showers and stuff they can use and all kinds of perks and
You
stuff
don't have
I
a
don't
shower?
get. Huh?
They
At my
made it-
house I do.
made
I don't
it
have
sound
one
like
at
you were-
work.
It made it sound like you were jealous that they had a shower.
Well, I thought that'd be great, so then I could use the shower and then go to a comedy show as opposed to driving back to Tacoma covered in dust from putting all the cables into University of Washington.
And then coming all the way
driving
back to
all the way
Seattle.
back to
Yeah,
Seattle
yeah.
and do my comedy. It'd be great. But no, can't do that. You're not a blue badge. You're a contract. Suck it, all right? You and the people that fucked up things for Aaron Swartz over there at MIT in Boston. You're all cut from the same cloth as far as I'm concerned.
So they end up putting a camera in this closet to find out who this computer belonged to. Days go by, they're filming, see a janitor every once in a while, and then they end up coming upon this kid comes, this guy, Aaron, and he comes with a backpack and just like loads up everything. So boom, busted.
And the
Like
effed up thing here is this is kind of an employee issue almost because he's a fellow.
Yeah.
They're paying him to do whatever research it is he was doing at the time. He's done some amazing research.
Yeah.
That has enlightened things that you would think we would already know, like how does Wikipedia get edited?
Yeah.
For before him, the logic was wrong about that because someone had done a scan of it and come to the wrong conclusions, and he refined it.
Yeah.
And so now we know a little bit more about that. So, obviously, there's another corporation involved here, JSTOR, with some moneyed interest in it,
And MIT.
and MIT.
Because that's where he got the info from.
And from what they talk about later with the law that the federal government decided to come at him with, eventually, I can see where they got him. It had to be the terms of service, which
Okay,
we talked about before.
Yeah, and the terms of service, they went into this in the movie where there's things in terms of service that are built to basically make sure that everyone breaks the law.
Everyone
It
is in
literally-
violation of laws throughout America all the time.
The one that bugged me was they go, the website 17, to log on, one of the things on it says you must be 18.
Yeah, that's
The fucking magazine's called 17.
But
You
that's
can't-
just stupid legalese, right? Like there's
It's-
always these parts.
Like eventually
of
you got to be
stuff.
responsible for yourself to view this website that's not for legal adult. I don't fucking get it.
iTunes terms of service for, a application that is basically there to move media onto a phone that you supposedly own.
Yeah.
With media that you believe you own is over 90 pages long.
It was funny because I now lease my phone with a leasing program from Sprint.
Mm-hmm.
And when the guy went to sell it to me, he's like, "Oh, we got this great leasing program." I'm like, "I'm pretty much leasing my phone anyways, right? Because you guys all own the whole fucking thing. I can't get the unlock code to hack the thing, right?
Until you're done buying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's done. You know what I mean? Like, so I just did that. I was like, I'm doing it anyway.
It's
so
almost
fuck
as
it.
if a lot of these laws are written just purely to benefit the corporation and hamstring the consumer for
Weird.
every single dollar you can get out of them.
So
It's
strange.
almost as if AT&T, the guy who runs AT&T, went, we made a big mistake by not fucking our customers as hard as possible with data caps, so we're moving to data caps.
Yeah.
There's definitely competing interests going on between the public at large and the 50 or 60 people who can
Which is
make billions
all-
of dollars exploiting the public.
It's the complete point this guy was trying to make the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, no, something's not. I respect people that just smell something fishy and are willing to put themselves out there, legally or illegally. Personally, if it's a moral thing, yeah, fight the fucking man.
This
period.
country
I don't
was
care.
founded on an illegal activity.
Absolutely.
Because we rebelled against the crown. And you know why we had to rebel against the crown? Because a few hundred or 1,000 years ago, someone said, I'm the crown, I'm in fucking charge,
Yeah.
and convinced everyone that he was the dude.
God told me that I'm the man.
What up, what up?
I'm the man.
And then later, what do you mean I can't get a divorce? I'll start my own church.
That's kind of a lot of work just to get rid of that one woman.
Yeah, just kill her. Oh, Henry VIII.
That's that all. He gets they end up tracking him down because he does this, and so he's breaking a law that was that was originally in 1982.
Well, he's breaking a
86.
contract, right? So, there's a law written because of the movie War Games.
Yeah, which is hilarious.
Legislated
Great tie-in.
against. There's also that story. Have you seen? It's the Stanley Kubrick movie about nuclear war. Dr. Strangelove.
Oh, such a good fucking movie.
So
I'd never seen that before. I was flipping through the channel, and I just came upon halfway through. I'm like, what the fuck is this movie? Because it was so out of the crazy. Just,
oh, yeah.
Can we do that one?
Yeah, we got to do that one.
We
That's
got to
one of the
do
best.
that one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a good flick.
Dr. Strangelove. So in Dr. Strangelove,
Let's
they
forget
have
about
the
it.
war room, right?
Yeah.
In reality, we have the Situation Room.
Yeah.
Which is featured heavily in The West Wing and all the other dramas like that.
Which
but
I'm sure there's a place.
When Reagan took office, allegedly, he got there and went, I want to see the war room. And someone had to go, no, you B-rated actor, fuck. There isn't actually a war. We have a Situation Room.
There's no big red button either.
With the giant map on the, yeah.
No, you can't open
there's
a drawer.
My ex-wife or soon-to-be ex-wife in a bunker somewhere in Wyoming waiting for someone to call her up and go, destroy the human race, faggot.
Yeah. You can't open a drawer in the White House in the desk and just go bloop. That doesn't happen.
No, it's a lot more involved.
Checks and balances.
You have to have a notary.
I do like how they they put it in charge of a bunch of people before he can actually. I was watching a documentary, of course, about what it would take to actually push. I think it's called Red Button.
Oh, really?
I think it's called. I'm not positive on that though. I'm not sure. Or pushing the button.
Clitoris of Doom.
Pushing 10.
Yeah. Clitopocalypse.
If you do it right.
This is the end of civilization as we know it.
So there was a guy, say before they decided to blow up Japan in World War II. There were several people it had to go through checks and balances.
Oh, for that one? For Japan even?
Well, there were so many people telling them, good idea, why it was a bad idea.
Yeah.
There were so many people involved on both sides that actually knew about it, had the plan, exactly what was going to happen. I feel like now that probably wouldn't happen so much. Like, he's not on the button, but he's only maybe 2 guys removed from the button.
Oh, the system.
As opposed to 50.
Well, first of all, the system to launch the nuclear weapons is the same system it was when they invented nuclear weapons and put them in the ground, and so it's all like...
They're just sitting there.
Well, it's really...
Except for the subs.
Ancient.
The subs still have nukes that are brand new,
Right, but what I'm talking about, the computer systems are...
Yeah.
Is basically as old as a computer system can be that the government owns, and you just do not mess with it. You expect it to work, and it's going to work, but it's not been tuned up to any... Michael Bay has not been in there with his effects team or anything.
Yeah.
Like
he may push the button and a fuse might blow, and they don't make that part anymore. So
and there is also, some Wikipedia articles on the Russians maybe panicking a couple times, and it came down to one dude who was just like, nope, not doing it.
Yeah, which that guy...
It just shows how much everyone loves America, obviously. Maybe we're all going to die, but thank God the capitalists over there, the unimpeachable capitalists who would never bully a child into killing himself over a simple download.
I want to shake that dude's hand, though. There's something to a guy...
You can't. They killed him for insubordination because the Russians... Oh, they're so cruel.
But there's got to be a point when you're like, that's the type of guy you want to buy a beer for. Anyone that stands up for their convictions and just goes, no, fuck it, I ain't taking it. We're not doing this.
Have I told the story of my wife's patriotic streak and how she lost that because she was, so she wanted to be in the military because her parents, if I get away with saying this, I'm going to say it. Her parents were hippies, and the way you rebel when your parents are hippies is to not be a hippie.
Yeah.
So she wanted to join the service. I'll show them, fucking hippies. Right, so she joined the service, very patriotic, went Air Force, I believe, and then the Air Force said, good job in the basic training, we're going to put you in a tin can underground in case we need to end the world, you'll be one of the people who flips one of the switches that fucking does that. At which point she became kind of disillusioned with the idea of military service as a patriotic act.
I like that it has to go through people, though. There's something nice.
Telling you, man, when they got those self-driving cars, eventually they're just going to put, Johnny Five alive, and Johnny Five will be the only one alive.
The super dangerous shit. I like that it has to go through a lot of people. Because, most people, I think I'm a chronic optimist, so I just think people are inherently good. We all want our families to do well, all that nice shit. But it has to go through a series of people before it gets to the actual button pushing. I like that. It's just a safe... Because, pessimist, optimist, maybe not. Puts that idea in somebody's head and goes, you know, maybe we shouldn't fuck everyone over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, eventually it goes down. And there's just people that push that idea. Snowden going, hey, I'm going to steal this, go to Hong Kong. Fuck you. I'm out. You know, leaves his chick.
It will destroy my life, but...
fuck my life.
But
compared
to
this, fuck my life.
It will help the species in the long run.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's what makes me think that we're not headed to the overlords quite yet.
I'm not saying overlords. I'm saying just like we're really going to be confused on what to do.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be...
Because we're still cavemen.
It's going to be, if we get enough poverty and enough people squished into enough square miles and there's a sale on machetes, Hotel Rwanda happens really quickly, and we're going to have to deal with that. Not necessarily that we need to go all Hotel Rwanda, because I don't know if you're a Hutsi and I'm a Tutu or whatever. Like, no one has come by yet to tell me which person I need a machete. I don't know how the Heritage Foundation is going to blame the Mexicans when the self-driving cars put us all out of work, but we'll do it. But I think we can get ahead of it. So people don't think I'm very optimistic, but I'm actually optimistic.
No,
I even find this to be an optimistic movie, and it's a movie about a young man being murdered by the government, so to speak.
Yeah, there's... I
mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I'm not exaggerating a lot. The planet does not tend to suffer lightly people with revolutionary ideas.
See, that's the... Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to speak out more, but I'm afraid of assassination.
Oh, don't worry. We have that curtain over the wall for the acoustic thing.
Yeah,
they can't.
Yeah.
They can't get you till you're... Please, not on the carpet. Like,
no, wait till I leave.
Yeah, get completely onto the street.
Unfortunately, I'm not well known enough.
Mm-hmm.
I just have dreamy ideas.
Yeah.
One day.
I've been trying my whole life to be so offensive that, like, the Christian Coalition will picket my shows, but I'm just not... I'm either not offensive enough or don't have big enough shows for them to care.
So here's what you do. You rejoin Christianity. You become a preacher.
Mm-hmm.
And then while you're a preacher, maybe start a show on TBN.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe write a book, ask for seed money, all that stuff. Then what you do is you get on TBN or you get on your blog or whatever, and then you just go, fuck God, I don't believe it. Now, here's the thing. As soon as you say that, everyone that did follow you will hate you, and they'll show up to your shows.
Oh, yeah?
Outside. They
Outside
won't
the
go
show?
in.
Okay.
I'll show up.
I need the protesters.
I'll show up, because I've been dying for a dude that was on TBN to just go, nah, fuck it. I don't really believe. I just have your money.
I have a couple of ways to know that I have lived a successful life. If the younger people around me, especially my nieces and nephews, are having a positive impact on the people in their lives, and I can kind of take credit for that, I feel good about that. And also, if when I die, a bunch of people show up with God hates fag signs, I'll be like, fucking I win!
Awesome.
That'll bring me back to life. Like, if I can annoy those people, that's a pretty low threshold, right? But it'll mean that I've made a big enough difference that the people who are just built of hate, hiding it as love.
If all matter is just energy,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you can't destroy, you can't subtract energy. Energy's just around.
Right.
I hope that when I die, I get cremated. Told my daughter, I was like, hey, sprinkle some shit at Home Depot, sprinkle some shit on a comedy stage, and then keep the rest for yourself or whatever. If for somehow...
You better put like a... Huh. You gotta specify which comedy stage, because Giggles is opening back up.
Oh, yeah, no.
So like, actually get back into the old underground.
Yeah. Well, that stage isn't going to be
cities, there. But yeah.
Or somewhere. To do that, and then I hope at some point some of those ashes somewhere ends up being part of a tree, and then it becomes part of a tree, and then that goes to a lumber mill, and that goes to a lumber mill, and some guy buys it, and then he decides he wants
to make
to
cosplay with in the park and wraps it in tinfoil.
Okay, I hope that happens too, but I hope some dipshit bigot makes a sign that says "I hate fags" or any type of N-word shit or any type of. And then I hope as he's holding that sign at the fucking parade, fuck yeah, not even a little splinter. I hope a car hits him, and then my sign dives into his fucking chest.
Oh yeah, and out his asshole.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like I should annoy everyone.
Oh yeah.
At least like that.
You can buy the tree thing. You can have your ashes.
Put
in a pot and then tree planted.
That's pretty rad.
And then you can also put in your will, and also either keep the dog away from it or just kill the dog. So I don't want to be pissed on the rest of my existence.
I was like, why would you fucking go? Like, burn him with you and bury it? What?
Oh, I
don't
feel,
really give a fuck about
I feel
that.
like there might be some people listening to the episode who want to know more about the narrative of what happened here with Mr. Aaron Swartz. I also feel like we could easily take a break and come back.
We could.
Yeah.
On a side note, I want to come back as if we're gonna do the ashes thing with the tree,
Mm-hmm.
I want the tree to be like an avocado tree, and then I want my daughter to plant it in Washington so that it doesn't grow.
Oh yeah.
So this is disappointment all around my life.
Well,
and the tree.
if you're an avocado tree in California, then you could have the hope that someone like wanted a really good taco or burrito.
Yeah.
But they couldn't quite get what they wanted because someone was charging them as much as 3 avocados for added guacamole. And it's not like the guy's back there making guacamole. It's guacamole. All right, and we're back from LegalZoom.com where we just filled out our last will and testaments. And Rusty decided dead heat style that he wants to come back as the seat on a girl's bike.
Yeah.
And I decided that I don't care what happens to my body. I just want to make sure that the Rusty seat is installed on a girl's bike, and that girl's name is Helga. So there we go.
Well, she's got an ass, so all right.
Yeah. You'll have all the parts.
Actually, have you ever met I met a really hot Gretchen.
Oh, really?
Her name's Gretchen.
I met some hot Gretchen. There was a
Fucking
hot
gorgeous.
Gretchen in my high school.
That's weird, though.
Might be the same girl.
Maybe.
Yeah, Gretchen and Deanna used to hang out. Hotties. Yeah, they were like death cookies. That's
Death cookies?
Death cookies is what Canadians call goth people.
All right.
Yeah. Learned that swinging. So now that we've figured out what's going to happen with our corpses.
Wonder what happened to this guy's corpse. I don't know. That was a bad segue to the guy.
Yeah, it wasn't really covered.
Yeah.
How do you spread someone's ashes on the internet?
Digitize? No.
Probably some sort of app, right?
It's probably like he should have went in like Lawnmower Man. Then he'd really be the internet's own boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, this is becoming a bad segment. I don't like this segment.
Are you going to delete it?
No, we're going to keep going.
No,
we're
you're
going to
not.
soldier on.
Okay.
Because you have to make sure your kid goes to bed.
We're slightly drunker than we were.
Yeah, don't Google boy fights. And we'll leave it at that. We're not going to actually... We're not going to... Yeah, just don't do it.
So, yeah, I mean, he gets busted. I mean, so they start this litigation against him, and when they actually arrest him, the cops fucking rough him up.
They always do this with the hackers, right? They always, back in the day, like, we found someone who downloaded every Fast and the Furious movie, so we sent the cops in with a SWAT team and a battering ram to take him to the floor and scare the shit out of his mom and shoot his dog.
The guy that you can politely just go, hey, get in the car.
O.J. Simpson cut his ex-wife's head off and murdered her boyfriend. They called him up and asked him to show up.
But this guy
downloaded something from a service that he was subscribed to.
Okay, so this is where I kind of had a problem with the documentary. I realize that this is completely slanted in this guy's favor.
Mm-hmm.
He's a hero to tons of hackers. So the problem I have with this is it's very slanted in the way that he's just like a great American hero, which I know he's not.
You don't think so?
He is, I believe, what he's fighting for. Not to say that he didn't break the law, I still root for people that break the law if it's in the better judgment of everyone.
I think the skewing in this was minimal from the research I've done.
Yeah.
And I think most of it was lies by omission or just not giving enough technical details to know why they came at him. I think the spine of it, with the government way overreaching and causing this young man's death by their overreach because they wanted to make an example out of him, I think that's true.
And that's the part. I don't think it started out as making an example until it got into the hands of the guy that was in charge of the cyber crime task force or whatever.
Yeah, a guy who makes his political bones by fucking people up.
Who, believe it or not, like has went and like prosecuted people to the point and made their life so stressful that a guy previously had killed himself.
Yeah. And we're not talking about child molesters or the guys who went into the Vietnamese restaurant in the late or early 90s in Tacoma and shot 11 people.
Yeah.
We're talking about people who were moving information.
Yeah. Okay, so there is definitely, in my head, there's an issue with moving the information in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just conflicted in this part because I feel like he did break the law. Okay.
I think he broke the law, but I would say he broke a law he had no idea existed because I think everyone listening to this would be amazed to find out.
Ignorance of the law doesn't make you excused from the law.
But it's a horrible, horrible law.
Yeah, no, I'm not on the side of like the
Let's not get into why Hillary Clinton should be in jail over that email server, but it
just
does
saying.
at a certain point in society. You can claim ignorance. If you're Hillary Clinton, you can at least forestall the prosecution long enough to almost get to be president before anyone goes, "Hey, it's bullshit." Right? At a certain point in society, it does.
But no, okay.
And this was a reinterpreting of this law to where it's like, hey, could we just use this to mess this kid up,
first
to
of all,
make an example out of him
that
so
law-
all have a political future?
That law was written as broad as a freaking.
It's a law in reaction to a movie about Ferris Bueller starting a nuclear war.
Yeah, and it's written as broad as
as the Patriot Act or any of the other laws we talk about on this show that are horrible.
As an agreement.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it covers fucking everything. And it was designed originally, they put it under credit card fraud. Because cards went through computers, and when you frauded a card, then it went through the whole thing. Like War Games definitely kicked it off, but it was based under credit card fraud. But it was so broad that any information that you jacked off of anything, even if it's public information,
I don't think they had a case against him unless you say he's in violation of that terms of service.
Yeah.
Ergo, we can slap him with, I think, 13 or 14 felony counts at the federal level.
Yeah.
And again, we're bringing the entire might of the FBI and a special prosecutor and a guy who should be handing this off to an intern to look into it.
Yeah.
He's trying to make his political bones. They went, he grabbed all this information. We believe he wants to sell it.
Yeah.
Impossible to prove or disprove.
Okay.
How are you coming at him, though, if I can just have one more minute to say that if anyone is listening to this and hasn't managed to violate a terms of service in some fashion, I don't believe you. I have no way of ever thinking. When you go to CNN's website right now, it tells you that you are agreeing to their terms of service by glancing at their website.
Yeah.
I don't think terms of services are actual real contracts. I think they hold as much water as Columbia House's thing that they would send to an 11-year-old boy, and hey, you want a bunch of CDs? And then we'll give them to you for a penny each. I don't think that we're dealing with real stuff here. But I think he was definitely, he knew what he was doing was mischievous.
Who was the guy?
He did not deserve to be tackled by the police in the dark of night and thrown into solitary confinement.
Hell no. There was a guy, what was the guy that got busted for hacking? He hacked something. Fuck, what was it?
Oh, yeah.
But he just changed a
man, you say?
Fuck you.
We've ruled out Neo's girlfriend.
So if you go up to the top of a search engine, or the search, not the search bar, but the website
address bar, yeah,
the address bar.
Control L.
And
pro tip.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, Control L will get you there in most browsers. Or Command L if you're on a
touch screen. So I just
that's right. You almost never touch a computer.
Yeah, I really don't. I almost never touch it.
Hello, I am from Microsoft. Will you be letting me enter your computer today? I'm from Microsoft Company.
So if somebody calls you and says...
Public service announcement.
Yeah, we're just going to get this out of the way. I got kind of hacked. They didn't sign my terms of agreement. No, I gave them permission to remotely use my computer. Okay, fucking dumb, all right?
If hacking was fucking, you got nailed by the dildo from 7.
So let me.
Microsoft will never call you. Neither will the IRS.
True.
Like neither one of these people will call you.
Okay, my computer kept talking to me to call this number with Microsoft letterhead on the pop-up and everything. It looked extremely legit. I had a phone number. I called a phone number. I get a hold of this guy. This guy kind of goes through everything and goes, wow, you got a shit ton of viruses. I remotely let him use my computer like a fucktard. Because I'm an old school con man, right? Okay. So I don't get sketchy about anything until they ask me for money. Then I get like, whoa, my pocketbook. Let alone the fact that I gave him remote access to my computer and he's probably put
That's
a bunch
a scary
of
thing, but I don't think you don't do a bunch of banking or anything on your computer, right?
They got, my daughter uses that computer for art. It's all for, she has a digital part. She has her DeviantArt, Mally Alley. The pony on DeviantArt. It's really great stuff. She has got a comic book on there too. I'm totally plugging my daughter's stuff now.
Yeah.
It's really good. Very funny too.
Your daughter is very, very talented.
Yeah, it's scary. So I let him remotely access my shit, and then he asked me for money, but then he kept dropping the price. And this is what I know
It became a bargaining.
Dude,
you should have because they get really frustrated. I've heard. I've never had this happen. If they think they're going to make a lot of money, 'cause you don't know what's actually going on, right? Like, you're getting a call from God knows where. This could be a guy in Africa affecting an Indian accent, calling you, or you called them, getting access to your computer. But there might also be another dude with a gun to his head. You have no clue what's going on.
So, because it starts at 200 is what the guy was like, well, we got this virus thing, and we could do it for 200. I'm like, and this is Microsoft?
Yeah. So weird that a Nigerian prince is my tech support.
So, no, I mean, the guy was legit and nice and had a good spiel until it became the money. And this is where I think I've dealt with contractors that go, hey, I'll do this for $1,600. And you end up paying $4,000. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen that happen. I've normally been doing the work and then they upsell them. But I've seen that happen, and I watched this guy go from $200 for this little program that'll wipe it out, and it's a subscription thing.
It's not gonna. It's gonna put more.
Oh,
it's
totally.
Gonna put more stuff on there.
But it's this thing with a bunch of bells and whistles and blah blah blah. And then I'm like, well, I don't have $200. I mean, I had $200, but I wasn't gonna give this guy $200 fucking dollars. I need to buy liquor.
Here's what really bothered me about the whole thing. You called me after all this happened. You didn't call me before.
Well, I was on the phone with the guy who seemed very nice.
The pop-ups on the computer asking you to call a phone number, and you call the phone number, and then it gets to money, and then you're like, I could have gone, nope. I could, because this computer's still in triage. We have a team of gnomes working on it right now.
Yes.
From all over. I've got an Asian guy and a guy who's autistic and like another guy. Like they're taking it apart like doctors.
If you get an Asian dude and an autistic dude working on a computer.
Oh, they're the same guy. But
is he in a wheelchair?
But so the thing is, if this happens to you, dear listeners, it shouldn't at this point. But if this has happened to you, and you've let someone remotely access your computer from God knows where.
Yeah.
You have no recourse at that point except to stop using that computer entirely. Get
Turn
in there,
it off.
Pull all. Yep, we call it an air gap. We might have remembered that from the Snowden episode. We must air gap this machine. That means it is not on a network at all. That doesn't mean you can still use Wi-Fi, you stupid motherfuckers listening. It means, I kid. We have smart listeners. It means that you must have no connection to the internet. So you must air gap it and you must turn it off. And then we must take it and give it to our friends and say, Jeremy doesn't have enough external hard drives right now to pull all your daughter's wonderful creative stuff off, which you have put in jeopardy. There's probably people in India right now being like, taking credit for your daughter's wonderful art. Like, I doubt it. But
fuck you. It's good enough to take credit for it. No.
No, there's cultural differences. They want to understand.
Here's what tipped me off. Here's where the part that was sketchy. I know we're totally running whatever, patented asides. So we went from $200, and I was like, I don't have $200. He goes, well, there's a one-time thing of $100. So just $100. I was like, I don't have $100. And he goes, does your mom have $100? And that was like, boom. I was done. I was like, you know what? Microsoft will probably never ask my
mother.
Yeah, like that's never gonna come up if I talk to them. You know what I mean? I was like, you're a con man. And then I just kind of started fucking with him. I mean, he was completely destroying the computer, but I was seeing how low I could get him. Yeah,
and that's the less scary scam nowadays, because there's the other scam. Hopefully most virus stuff checks for this now, where they get in there and they encrypt your entire computer.
Yeah.
And an encryption is a math problem where the solutions are so big to the math problem that all the computing power we have now, all of it, could be rallied against that math problem until the heat death of the universe and still not solve the math problem to decode your stuff.
Yeah.
And this has happened.
And they'll just lock it up completely.
And if you don't pay them,
and then,
your information's gone forever.
Yep.
Unless there's some huge quantum leap in computing in the next 10 years. But it doesn't matter, because this has happened to hospitals and police forces who've had to go ahead and pay these people.
Yep.
So those are bad hackers. We're talking about...
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was like, these are the shitty ones. We don't like them. But the anonymous
Certainly,
guys
if we're
going to
aim the federal government at someone, it should be the douchebag who called up Rusty 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, totally.
Tried to ruin his life.
He sounded like a nice guy. He probably wasn't a douchebag. And he's probably in a legit office.
As far as he knows, he might be doing the right thing. I've heard from people who have just played with them and baited them, and the guys get so upset. You're like, you don't know what's going on the other side of the world, where this scam was hatched by someone, and then it's like someone opens an office maybe in Calcutta.
Yeah.
But that office is run by the Russian mafia through 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon or whatever.
You can tell he had an air of like, you're American. How the fuck don't you have $200?
That's the exact same reason
You know
you
what I mean?
kidnap your daughter in Tijuana and ransom her back to you. They think you have the $40,000. Like, it's not that they're bad kidnapping people. I'm kidding. We don't have so much kidnapping now. They found all that money in heroin and just
there's still,
chopping people's heads off.
There's still so much. Anyways.
We should build a wall.
Really high. No, you know what? They should build the wall.
They should build a wall. And then we'll invoice them for it.
Yeah, why not? I owe you 12 feet by 4.
They did this investigation.
Yeah.
And I will say, I did say that the IT department over there is probably kind of lazy jerks. I stand by that. But this was probably the most exciting thing that had happened to them in a long time.
Yeah.
There's like this phantom computer pops up, starts stealing stuff from our servers, and then it disappears. And then now
they're
it's
laughing.
in a closet. Let's put a camera in. Like, they were jacking each other off. Like, we're
yeah.
such good secret agents and stuff.
Oh, yeah, and that's the part that confused me is as soon as... So Bush signed the cybercrime task force bill, which put the Secret Service in charge of it.
With this wonderful weasel word fucking language as the Patriot Act, which is like, to stop terrorism and what else.
Yeah.
Totes, we do that also. And
but
then
hold
said,
on.
Secret Service.
How is the Secret Service in charge of that shit?
I don't
That's
know
the part
why.
that
The Secret Service is a very sophisticated organization. I don't know why you would put them. They're original. You know why they originally were conceived? Or
conceived?
Inceptioned? Yeah.
Inceptioned?
Conceptioned.
Conceptioned?
Mm-hmm.
Not Inception?
Both of them.
It's not a service working on a service.
Whatevs.
So, why? I want to know now.
Now we have to repeat the question. I feel like we're so far.
No.
The original reason the Secret Service was made as an institution, as far as I know, if the internets can be trusted, as we know, the internets don't lie.
Yeah.
Was to stop counterfeiting. Purely, that was their job.
Oh.
Yeah.
How did they end up in charge of the president's
Apparently,
safety?
they were really fucking good
at
protecting pictures of presidents. Hey, it transfers.
Wait,
that's how our government
would you take
thinks.
a bullet? Oh, yeah? You get a job.
I'll take a
Here's
bullet,
an earpiece,
but not a shoe. Not for that, motherfucker.
Earpiece, some sunglasses. Get on it. Go. Good game. Good game.
Well, so they're a law enforcement agency. They're not just bullet catchers.
Yeah.
I mean, they're great at that. In terms of jumping in front of bullets.
So far.
Lost almost
Wait.
no presidents. Only the ones that have been shot at and
Hold
almost
on, do you count
Reagan.
the amount of times they were shot? Because Reagan was shot, what, 3 times?
The guy shot a bunch of times. I don't know how many times Reagan was shot.
I know he got hit at least twice, right?
Oh, I know the guy next to him got a lot of... He wasn't even in the Secret Service. He was just some dude.
Yeah. It was
Brady.
his buddy or something, yeah. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah.
Hacking.
So the idea that they bust him for this, they rough him up when they arrest him, and then they throw him in jail. They offer him a deal that says you can admit to being a felon.
Mm-hmm.
You get 5 years in prison.
With no trial.
Yeah. This is just a plea deal. This is like, hey, sign this shit. We're good.
Mm-hmm.
You can get 5 years in prison, 6 or 3 years, or no, 6 months on probation. All of which, no computers. You cannot have...
Oh, it was a year living in your own house, like staying at home.
Oh, yeah, house arrest. Yeah. And then probie, all of which, no computer.
None.
And this is the type of guy that goes, he just smells something's wrong with what they're doing. And it's like, no, I'm not... he put a lot of thought into it. He talked to his girlfriend all the time. And if you watch this video, this movie, there is when his first girlfriend that they introduced in the video talks about what she had to go through, they basically took her in there and like, hey, Aaron wants to talk to you, but you have to talk to the prosecutors first. She's in there with her lawyers.
Oh, when they deposed her, but they gave her the Queen for a day.
Dude,
so Queen for a day.
This part made me so fucking mad.
You've been perplexed by Breaking Bad as much as I have. In the final season, he goes, I'll offer you Queen for a day and like a lollipop or something if you testify against the thing. He's like, I'm not taking it. And then they kill them all.
Yeah.
Kill all those guys in jail.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. They kill them all. Queen for a day is, we'll bring you in and you will talk to us, and anything you say during that day as we depose you
Yeah.
Or I don't think it's even a straight up deposition. I think it's just
like an interview.
Just an interview. Yeah. Not
but
even like
it ends up being used against him. So it.
And we should back this up just a hair. His girlfriend or whoever she was to him, I'm not sure they were
roommates,
romantically involved. Like
they were.
She was divorcing her husband, and then they were living together.
Yeah, and then they became romantically
involved. And she's a reporter,
and
she has sources, and she is terrified, and also a young person at the time.
Yeah.
The FBI is going to seize her laptop, and she's an important enough reporter that she has sources in that laptop.
Yeah.
That matter and the FBI should not get a hold of. And if you're the type of person who thinks that there's no such thing as a source like that, just stop listening and go to some other part of the internet. I don't need you listening to my show unless you have some flexibility to your thinking, because it's very important to the whole process of democracy is a free press with protected sources.
Yeah.
And she was worried they're going to come around that, and they bullied the living hell out of her to get her into that room. And there's a big legal thing going on with Mr. Swartz, and he's got, a lot of money and a lot of lawyers involved in this, and his family's in there as well, doing what they can. He's out on bail and all that, and they're telling her, you have the wrong lawyer here.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason, if there's no charge against you, that you need this queen for a day immunity to go talk to the FBI. But the FBI is a very sophisticated organization, good at bullying people and getting them into that room. And so she went for it, and she talked to them, and she shouldn't have, and she peeped them to a document that he'd written about Freedom of Information Manifesto.
Yeah.
Which sounds more terrifying than it is.
Totally. It basically
But it is terrifying to people like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell us what it is.
Because he basically says in the manifesto, mind you, it's not militant or honestly scary if you're just a person.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not in control of other people, I'm not talking about like an employer-employee kind of thing.
No,
I'm
talking
about
putting someone in a cage where they can't sit up, they can't go to sleep, they can't.
If you're not actually in control of people, it's not a scary thing. Because he literally says, no, knowledge and information is legitimately just for everybody.
It's one of the most important commodities we have. It's like air or water. Everyone should have access to it.
So he writes this in a manifesto, and he basically...
The language is a little rough, but it's not overthrow the government, kill the president.
Yeah,
it's
like
that.
Militant, but not... And this is a guy that loves America, because he literally says if he catches this felony, him and his girlfriend were walking by the White House at the time, the girl that ended up getting queen for the day. They walk by the White House, and he goes, I can't have a felony because...
They don't let felons work there.
Yeah, and he's pointing to the White House. This is a dude that gives a fuck about America, and
this is not your shitty 24-year-old friend who went to college and became a vegan out of hate for their parents a week and a half later.
And he's like, damn the man, and plays acoustic guitar.
This young man is what an activist should be.
Grew dreadlocks.
Yeah. He's not
that
cracker
guy.
in the Rasta hat with the dreadlocks and the giant plates of wood in their ears. And it's just all about bothering their parents and all that. It's not that. This is a person who genuinely looked at the world and said, I don't necessarily like where this is going.
Yeah.
I have enough skill and charisma to positively affect it.
Yeah.
And was never a douchebag about it. Not once have I seen anything that he's done where I'm like, total douche.
Yeah.
I've seen TED Talks where I'm like, this fucking douche, right? Like these people up there like.
There's got to be something.
Yeah.
And this dude, he is a very humble.
Sincerely wants to exercise his right as an American to affect the political process of the biggest superpower in the world to make the world a better place.
It's the people that don't accept bullshit.
Yeah.
They smell a little and go, nah, I'm pretty sure that's poop.
And while all this was going on with the court case and the girlfriend or whatevs giving up the information that made the FBI go, okay, that so doesn't jive with the way we think about things. We're getting so much pressure from the other side to like really make an example out of this kid. While all that's happening, to this person, he's also fighting to save the fucking internet.
Completely.
And he did. Like there was a law that was about to happen which would have fucked the internet in the ass. Everything you like about it.
He's out on bail fighting for your right to use the internet, and so that
fighting what he thinks is a desperate, hopeless fucking battle to stop this fucking law called SOPA.
Yeah.
Which was designed by the copyright-holding shithole fucking corporations who count every time some douchebag in fucking Timbuktu downloads a Game of Thrones episode as like, that's $1 billion we could have had here at HBO.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
it's not, you asshole.
Yeah.
It's not. And I get that. No one should be stealing your stuff. But so they drafted this law and handed it to a bunch of clueless fucking senators and said, this law and all our money want this law, and these guys were just going to pass it. And this law said, if you thought that someone was stealing your stuff and you were a corporation, you could say, I think you're stealing my stuff. You're no longer allowed to be on the internet website that I think is stealing. It would have criminalized essentially the entire internet without the benefit of a trial.
Yeah.
And while this guy had 35 years, eventually yanked up to 50 years of fucking federal penitentiary time hanging over his head, he is out there fighting the good fight, mobilizing a battle he thinks is going to lose.
On bail.
And stops this anti-American, overreach, corporate piece of shit law from happening.
Yeah. Which, I could count on, I can't count how many, like, fucking websites I would be kicked off of because I just happened
It would have criminalized Google.
Yeah.
You could have, if you decided you wanted to be that dude.
And you guys, everybody out there might actually remember the blackout day.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this, and it was like you went on Google one day, and you went there, and all of a sudden where the Google
Big
name would be,
censor bar.
there was just a censor bar across it. And Wiki did that, Google did that, all the big ones.
Reddit,
it was like,
yeah.
no, we're not
Reddit,
down
which
with
he
these.
helped invent, yeah.
Yeah, we're not down with this motherfucker, these motherfuckers coming in. And the condescending way that all these senators went by and were just like, well, we don't even really understand the bill. If you can get a fucking nerd in here, they didn't say fucking, but
but it was implied.
If you can get a nerd in here to explain it to me, and there's very many clips in this movie where it has just senators calling these dudes nerds. And I love that it flipped to a Daily Show excerpt. Where the Daily Show's like, yeah, those guys you calling nerds, you mean analysts? Experts?
To explain to you what you don't fucking understand.
Fuck
Listen,
you.
the internet's not just a big truck you can dump something on. It's a series of tubes. We need technically literate legislation in this country. We need the people who are passing laws to understand that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And they didn't.
Yeah.
And they were about to pass a law that I was never super scared of because I'm like, well, this will get sorted out in the courts because it's so draconian and stupid.
Yeah.
That, well,
it's
one,
better that
it just can't happen.
There.
It didn't even make it there.
You know what I mean?
To where we had to sort it out in the courts. But it's this, and this is a big issue that we all need to be aware of.
Yeah.
All right? And that is that Jesus died for you. And his blood will wash your sins away.
Yeah, and if you send him money.
If you've ever washed something in blood, you've noticed how much cleaner it gets.
No, well, if you want it red, just putting that out there.
There's several issues of our time. This was the first domino I saw fall that I found really encouraging.
Yeah.
Was that SOPA got defeated.
Yeah.
By a grassroots initiative.
Yeah.
The second one
Full disclosure, grassroots to begin with. It got momentum, and then, I mean, Google's not poor. These other companies.
Right, yeah.
I mean, once Google took a hold and everybody else, it was like, no, I smell bullshit.
They got
again.
it into the public eye, and it was a big enough issue that thank God it did.
And it swept by like 100 fucking votes. Like all the people that did vote for it before, it all of a sudden switched sides.
It moved the entire tide of the thing.
Absolutely.
Because newsflash, there's going to be several takeaways from this. Newsflash. Your congresspeople and other lawmakers, even judges and things in your local community, are scared of not getting their job again.
Oh, yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
And if you are involved, you don't have to be the hippie that's in college out there on the quad with the fucking shitty dreadlocks and just wanting to piss off your parents. If you're involved, you can affect things. I don't want to hear anybody saying, I can't affect it. No. If Donald Trump is elected president, you have a right as an American to buy a gun and shoot him in the head.
I mean, you don't have that right. I don't think that's not the way.
Well, you can own a gun.
You can own a gun.
I'm 33% right, and that's how I got through high school, was being 33% right.
So you didn't graduate? Because you got to be a higher percentage than that.
Oh, we had this thing called social promotion back in the 80s. You just
Christian school. I forgot.
Well, first of
so
all,
it's okay to be wrong there.
School, yeah.
The air quotes.
Yeah, yeah. You guys couldn't see it at home. You could probably hear it in my voice. So yeah, I went to like science is bullshit type of school.
So we've completely got off the rails, and I don't mind.
He killed himself.
Yeah,
he did.
But
he won SOPA.
He won SOPA, and he continued to fight, and they ran him through the ringer, and he let it go to trial because he didn't want to hang with
He didn't quite make it all the way to the trial. And what's really upsetting...
He died first, but he was going to go to trial. Like, he was done. He was like, fuck this, I'm going to keep fighting. And so this is the problem I kind of have. The stress of all of this, yes, might have led to his... Because people are like, the government killed him.
I don't think the government killed him, but I think they were way out of line.
Absolutely. Between the guy running the cybercrime task force and the fact that the J-Stock, what was it called?
A prosecution should never be political.
What was the site?
JSTOR.
JSTOR. So JSTOR backed out.
Mm-hmm.
He goes,
MIT went mute.
No, we don't care that he took the stuff. He's like, we're not prosecuting him. We're not going to sue him. Whatever. We don't give a fuck.
And I think they also made a lot of their collection available.
Yeah. And the thing that pisses me off that MIT didn't get his back, and they are the designers and creators of fucking hackers. Some of the things I was looking up, the pranks that MIT would play on each other is they would hack each other's fucking computers all the time. So he just did something they normally do, or something that MIT would normally kind of shout for or cheer for, and they didn't have this dude's back at all. So everyone's backing out. He gets this huge success with SOPA, but he's still facing 55 fucking years. Yeah, you know what?
Well,
I can see where depression would,
I can't judge when I look at this story, right? So he was about to go to trial, and he had apparently had enough of this happening to him. I think he was probably a young man. Everyone in the movie's like, he's not depressed, not depressed, not depressed.
Yeah.
And then there's one guy's like, hey, prosecutor, I think he's depressed.
Yeah.
And the prosecutor's like, well, I don't fucking care, which you wouldn't if you're just a bureaucrat looking to make some points or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't. But I see a young man who possibly had some depressive... I've dealt with depression quite a bit. That's no secret in my life, you know? I've had a shotgun in my mouth, and not just as part of a sex act, but, I've had some hard times. And I get it, and I get being that desperate. And when you're watching it, the inclination might be like, why didn't he just wait until he was found guilty to kill himself? Well, he'd been to solitary confinement when they arrested him.
Yeah.
So he was probably depressed then, or else they were being complete fucking douchebags and throwing him into solitary confinement just to be fucking dicks. I don't know if I believe that, but it's the East Coast. I don't have a lot of experience over there with their law enforcement. Law enforcement West Coast, me and them, yeah, I've fucking dealt with that. But
you just went so gangster there with your hands and everything.
Yeah.
I dealt with that.
Threw it down. But so he's probably a young depressive man. I don't ever think that it is in the living. I don't think you get a right to judge those who couldn't deal with life to the point where they had to take their own life.
Yeah.
You can be angry for a little bit and I feel it's selfish, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
I think it's maybe more selfish that you want someone to live in pain and be around you.
Yeah, the feelings you have are they're literally for you. They're not on that person anymore.
Yeah.
So, I mean, don't feel guilty about it. There's, of course, something you can do. If you sense somebody in pain and everything, try to help.
Yeah,
but
give them all your money. All of it.
No,
everything.
I mean, that might help, but depending on
if it wasn't for suicide, we wouldn't even have the Christian faith. Because if he's omnipotent, he must have known that he was going to get... So just having a Jesus baby is becoming a suicidal baby.
I think
I might have gone off the rails.
It just got you. Huh? I think I could tell in your eyes. It just got you. What I take away from this dude, honestly, and we got to wrap it up, but I do believe there's a few people that unfortunately are born... They're born to make a difference, and they're born to push an idea, and sometimes they're just a little bit smarter than everybody else, and they try to say, hey, no, everyone's fucking up, and they point it out so much, and they could be damaged humans. There could be things wrong with them, but they have that mindset where they sniff out bullshit and fight for it, which more of us should be definitely like that. I don't know if I try to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think the guy was born maybe a little too early.
I think he was right
I think it was
point.
I think he got a lot of shit done while he was here, but I feel like I feel like if he had more time, like I'm really actually upset that he killed himself because I feel like even if he got in jail with the grassroots movement he had from SOPA and everything else, I feel like more would be involved with that dude.
I'm down with his lawyer, and that I don't think he would have served a day.
Yeah.
I mean, he had bankrupted himself. He'd run through all his money, and this was a moneyed man because of he
sold Reddit,
a startup genius.
Yeah.
So he had some money, right? And he had a lot of support, and he fought for it. I think he had a lot more to give, and I think he bailed out too early, but you can't really judge that, right?
Yeah.
Because all the things going through your head as a young man faced with the federal government doing everything it can to put you behind bars the American government is one of the most powerful institutions in the known universe.
It is.
Like,
pretty much.
There's gravity, China, Russia, and us. Those are the four most fucking strong fucking things.
And honestly,
that
it
we
goes
know
gravity,
about.
China, us, Russia.
Huh? Yeah.
As far as power goes.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But I don't think you can judge him. I do think that he is a good example, though, of sincere activism.
Yeah.
Optimism. I think he's an optimistic guy, because you can't take up this SOPA battle. Everyone thought we were going to lose that one. Everyone thought we were, and he even thought we were going to lose it, but they fought it, and they made it an issue. And it's very easy to be a young man and be or young woman, young person, young pansexual being of some sort. Whatever. I don't care if you fucking sexually identify as an ice cube tray. We're all brothers. Because brothers are men. No, fuck that. No, not women. But
wow.
No, everyone, we all share traits in common. It's very easy to spend 2 or 3 years being an activist and being a vegan and really upsetting your parents and stop it and be a corporate sellout.
Yeah.
He was never going to be a sellout. He was never a sellout. He was a sellout for a couple minutes, made a lot of money, spent it on lawyer fees because he unsold out so hard that the government tried to get him. So
this is the thing that I think...
You can affect positive change in the world. Don't think you can't.
Yeah.
Even if Bernie Sanders doesn't win, people, you can go that way.
Yeah, maybe vote for your fucking mayor or actually vote for the shit in your state, too, which can enact
you
fucking
don't
change.
necessarily need to vote to affect positive
Well,
change.
no, I'm just saying in that area...
If you see two bums fighting, tell them to stop. And you've helped at least one of them.
And then bring out awareness of bum
you can
fights.
do positive change in a lot of ways.
There's a website.
And you don't have to take up big fucking issues and stuff. There's no more bums fight website.
I know. I think...
As technology increases, here's the takeaway. The big one?
Yeah.
For me, is that as technology increases, the power of the masses will increase until the Roombas come for us. Your thoughts, Rusty?
I think that's about right. Eventually, just look for bullshit. Whether it's an Indian dude trying to remotely take over your computer or whether it's the fucking government snooping in on all your shit and all the things that Snowden fought for and all the things that this dude fought for, fucking civil rights, all of it. It just... Holding people accountable for what we actually signed the Constitution for is the reason. Like, it's the point. It's how to be an American. It's questioning all of it.
And even if you feel the system's completely fucked, it takes a lot to undo the idea in the system that says you can affect the system.
Yeah.
You can affect it.
Yeah.
Or you can go home and watch that fucking, like Paul Blart Mall Cop, like some sort of asshole.
Oh, I got to play Xbox.
Oh, yeah?
Are we done?
Yeah, we're done. You want to go play Paul Blart Mall Cop, the game?
No, I'm going to play Halo.
Oh, you're going to play Halo? Why did you, from Paul Blart Mall Cop, go, I have to go play Xbox?
As a distraction, like I'm not actually thinking, I just want to go distract myself.
Oh, yeah?
I was following your line of thinking.
You were being ironical.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they got it. I think you fucked up there.
Listen, all right. We're changing the name of the podcast to the Social Ginger Warriors.
No.
Me and Rusty, we both have these fire crotches of justice, and we will stop the oppression.
You have never seen my pubes.
What? Pubes?
My pubes.
What are you, 5?
Fuck you.
Don't be a pessimist.
Yeah.
No matter who you are, no matter what your idea of progressive is, if your idea of progressive is like maybe we should nail another Jew to a tree, that's fine. But stand up for what you believe in, be articulate about it, and don't just do things to piss off your parents.
The idea, here's a word that I might actually get laughed at if I bring it up. There's a word that nobody fucking brings up anymore, and it's literally honor.
Honor?
Nobody. I mean, a lot of military dudes use it as, a recruitment tactic for everything, but everyone should be using that word more and actually applying it. There is a line in the sand where you honestly feel bad about something and didn't say something.
Mm-hmm.
Saying something is being honorable.
And you might not be the only one who feels that way.
No,
you could be the one to speak up, and so other people feel like they could speak up.
Yeah.
Be an audience of character, audience. Have some character.
Don't berate our audience. They're good people.
You look in the mirror and think, like, what do I really like about myself?
It's honor and pride. Mm-hmm. You smell some bullshit, fucking do something about it. Or at least say something. Even if it's just to the person next to you, just go, hey, this is fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. Get it all out. Just fucking...
No matter what that is to you. If you want to be the asshole screaming in Target with a Bible in the air about transgendered bathrooms, hey, at least you're participating in our society.
Dude!
You cunt. But...
I mean, other people might hate you for what you do, but there's a good fight in there. There's a really good fight in there.
There is a good fight.
Yeah.
Keep fighting that gay marriage fight. 20, 30, find other shit besides the bathrooms later. Later, you douchebags.
Us as humans are going to continue to move forward. It's the people that decide to stay back and fight these shitty ideals from before. And I've said it before on the progress, is tradition is the enemy of progress.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. If you continue to do the same thing, if the old guard still stays in power and nobody says anything about it, it becomes tradition and we don't progress. Black people still end up fucked. Unisex bathrooms don't fucking happen because they fucking should. We should all have showers.
But I'm fascinated by
Star Troopers.
That argument is
Starship
that
Troopers.
The opponents of the transgendered people getting to go, like, if they're a successful transgendered person, first of all, you have no idea it happened, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't know. Unless it's like Goodfellas and you got to shoot the hooker in the car. But I mean, like, you know what I mean? So you have no clue. But their argument seems to be that people are having sex in the bathrooms at Target.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you? If you think people are having sex in the bathrooms at Target,
I've never have.
Go to Walmart. No, I'm like,
I once got busy in a Burger King bathroom.
In a Burger King bathroom. Which brings us to the final thought of the podcast, which there are two people I really wish were American citizens that had lived past the point in their life that they lived and were fairly revolutionary. Aaron Swartz, and can you guess who else I'm going to say?
No.
Tupac Shakur, actually, I think had a hell of a fucking brain. Yeah, Tupac was an American.
You said that weren't American
No,
citizens.
that were American citizens.
Oh, sorry, I heard weren't.
And kind of revolutionary thinkers and died way too young. Aaron died for different reasons than Tupac.
Yeah.
Because Aaron, I believe, was depressed and was
Eternal
faced
fight.
with malicious prosecution. Tupac picked a fight with a gangster at a fucking Mike Tyson bout in a Vegas lobby. So there's different things. But, yeah.
That's it. I mean,
that's it. Yeah.
Unfortunately, the people that matter the most and that say the most about freedom and freedom of expression and helping people tend to get assassinated.
This guy's easier to love and like a better ideal of the American character to me than even though Thomas Jefferson is like a founding father.
Yeah.
This motherfucker's cleaner than Thomas Jefferson. Did not own a woman. You know what I mean? Like, as the natural progression of revolutionaries.
Go check
this
out.
movie is worth it. Yeah, go watch it.
And here's the best part. It's fucking free everywhere.
Yeah,
this
released
movie,
under the Creative Commons license.
You can get this movie everywhere. You just put it in your Google search engine. You know, that website that he helped fight for. You can put it into YouTubers.
It's free on YouTube, and you're not breaking any rules at all.
It's the internet's own boy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely free on YouTube and $13 on iTunes.
Really?
I shit you not. Released under Creative Commons license. So you've got two options. You can watch it for free on YouTube, or you can add some money to Apple, who redesigned a pencil in the Matrix hallway. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a good
listening.
evening.
Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power.